Good music, good times.
One good thing about music, when it ends to
good music, good times. Delivering the best.
GMGT big, where the culture lives. Big, vibes big, GMGT, oh it is what it is. Smartin.
Good music, good times. With another long stretch of today's hottest hits and your all-time favorites.
G6 Production.
Usaf sample na bakayad la. Lucia, Mada, Wada.
Young Boss Entertainment.
Bash one day, no one day now. First I fire one drop. Epic a cup. Then fire tiki-tok. Who got the free come back baba shop now? From first I fire one drop. Epic a cup. Then fire tiki-tok. Who got the free come back baba shop? From bel nèg west bien taillé. Ou gade belle femme qu'on en plat mahé. Tout manière moins gade. Ou na imaye. Pour tout rad moins être chaillé. Ou ni un style qui original. Fais ça pété pap pour un bal. Ou nan chalet qu'on dit fait un chal. Moins aimons la qu'on rastaman aimé aital femme. Fais ça fait ya one drop. Et puis kakop. Then fait tiki-tok. Ou gade fouye qu'on mak baba shop now. Femme. Fais ça fait ya one drop. Et puis kakop. Then fay tiki-tok. Ou gade fouye kon mak baba shop. Femme, fais ça bwene, descend twene. Fais ça roule kon ballon en l'été ouais. Fouette kon se ouais. Femme ka wime, ma pou trop loin. Yo ka fais ça mouté, ho kon piene. Doudou mwen aimé, l'ou fay plime. Et ka fè mwen mouté kon la fime. Ou ki nite et se gwen na isi men peton et wime. Fais ça fè ya one drop. Et puis kakop. Then fay tiki-tok. Who got the free come back baba shop now? From first I fire one drop. Epic a cup. Then fire tiki-tok. Who got the free come back baba shop? Boom. From
les moins matin na fait ça table ou même kai body. Fouiller budget na vrai no my fime. Les moins oui mais yolo formula station do ka croiser. Les moins besi ou savi pas blague. Sali ou sab moins bad. Na dish way yo. Want your hard. Come let me bring you to my whining lab.
First I fire one drop. Epic a cup. Then fire tiki-tok. Who got the free come back baba shop now? From first I fire one drop. Epic a cup. Then fire tiki-tok. Who got the free come back baba shop? From first I fire one drop. Epic a cup. Then fire tiki-tok. Who got the free come back baba shop now? From first I fire one drop. Epic a cup. Then fire tiki-tok. Who got the free come back baba shop? From
Boy Rennie G and you are now locked on to the wake up call with Silence and Carry on GMGT with the culture lives.
Production.
good.
She want a gangali. She said she want a big bungalow. She said she would like to be free. She would like to be free. She want a gangali. She said she want a big bungalow. She said she would like to be free. She said she would like to be free.
Call me, yeah. The little man now the good. Better you somebody else. Call me, yeah. Can I say the boy need it? Like can I say you're way too good feel. Better you somebody else. Call me, yeah.
She want a real gangali. She want a big bang belly. She want a big bang boy, yeah.
Call me, yeah.
She want a big bang belly. She want a big bang boy, yeah.
Call me, yeah. Call me, yeah. Me just want you get in your element. Lewinsky and me be the president. Since you say you're free, come show me the evidence. Tight girls ever in a fashion. Always trending. Love a gal, fashion. Outstanding. Fling the jars away, car away. She have to come back tomorrow. Fling the jars away, car away. She run like a barrow. Fling the jars away, car away. Just play like a marrow. Fling the jars away, car away. She said she like to swallow. Hey, the little man now the good. Better you somebody else. Call me, yeah. Can I say the boy need it? Like when I say you play too good, feel. Better you tell somebody else. Call me, yeah. She said she want a big bungalow. She said she want a big bungalow. She said she would like to be free. She said she would like to be free. She said she want a big bungalow. She said she want a big bungalow. She said she would like to be free. She said she would like to be free. Hey girl, me come here so feel free, come here no come here so feel love. They get on a mission, me no come for sweet talk. No bag of chatting, come me no come for skyline. Skyline, me when me for your shine off. If I want me, I feel when you fit tell me by car. She say I'm on a rubbish, she burn him like a dry grass. She say she don't want him, me forget the high grass. But I promise you see him at the sky of purpose. Fling the jars away, jars away, jars away. She have to come back tomorrow. Fling the jars away, jars away, jars away. She run like a barrow. Just play like a marrow. Fling the jars away, jars away, jars away. She said she like to swallow. Call me, yeah. The little man now. Better you tell somebody, yeah. Call me, yeah. Can I say the boy need it? Like when I say you too good, feel. Better you somebody, yeah. Call me, yeah. She want a real gangale. She want a real gangale. Call me, yeah. Call me, yeah. She want a big bang belly. She want a big bambo, yeah. Call me, yeah. Call me, yeah. She want a
This is your girl Nyla Blackman and you're tuned into Trouble in the Morning.
She want a whole gangali. She said she want to be somebody. She said she would like to. She said she would like to.
Hey. This is your girl Nyla Blackman and you're tuned into Trouble in the Morning.
Yeah, I got it. Good morning to one and all. I'm seeing the crews in here. Just let me know who's inside. I'm looking at it. Good morning to my panel. Good morning to everyone. GIGI and AKIL is here. Makiba, good morning.
Morning.
I see. Oh, there it go. Now it allowing me to share. I was like, what going on just now there? And that's I'm trying to juggle between the GMGT, myself, and good morning to everybody on Mixcloud as well. Good morning to you guys. How are you? Who is there with us this morning? Let me make sure and share this with on my Facebook page as well. So we're getting ready to go into the news headlines. Makiba, good morning. Post Halloween, everybody's now waking up. I seen. Good morning, Tamara. Morning. I seen a lot of people last night with not a lot actually, but last night it was real dead. It was cold for the Halloween. Your kids dress up, Gigi?
Yes. Actually, speaking of how cold it was, the costumes they originally had set to wear, we could not wear them because it was so cold that we wouldn't have been able to see them. So luckily, they had like a career day at school this week, and they had some like construction little thing you could pull over, and I was like, bet, put that over your jacket and we going outside. So shout out to my neighborhood. They did their thing this year with Halloween.
Akil, I know your kids big, right?
Yeah, well, the small ones didn't take part in it neither, you know.
Nothing in Halloween.
Nah, like, I didn't take part in Halloween thing.
My daughter dressed up as a was it a jester, I think it's called.
Yes.
She looked so lovely, and then I took her trick or treating, and then
so
no one was.
You come out as. You
come out as Yankee boy last night.
See, grapes and kiss.
Grapes and kiss.
Oh wow!
Really the morning that, but a lot of people didn't take part in the trick or treating this year.
Yeah.
A lot of people was
my
feeling
daughter
away.
cried.
Why?
Yeah, she was so distraught and upset that because usually every year she gets bags and bags and bags of candy.
So why doesn't buy back for yourself? One buy back and mix.
Well,
Why do last time?
You see, that's the thing now. So I gotta make it up to her today. I'm gonna take her
why
to eat.
Why do I went and buy just the big bag of mixed chocolate?
Because we was on our way to do that, but then when we got there, pandemic Target closed early or kind of thing, so I couldn't. And then yesterday I walking like a dog too, you know. You know what yesterday showed me? That the amount of money you want to chase in life, if you don't stop and make time for family, it could lose it. Because just by the fact I see my daughter crying, like, and I saying to myself, yo, I could at least, I didn't have to go to a job, you know what I'm saying? I could have take that time off and go to the child earlier.
I always tell people, you never walk in the hospital and see a job like that on the bed.
That is the day, boy. And that here. Hey, Roxanne, good morning. Good morning, Onika. Good morning, Karen. That is AKIL friend, Karen Charles.
Yeah, Karen Charles.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning. Pleasant good morning, Lima. Yeah, boy, so we had to make time for family, boy. We can't chase all the money, boy.
Always.
Can't chase all the money.
What you doing? What you making the money for? You know, that's what I always tell myself.
I'm making the money to secure a better future for my family. You know,
exactly.
At the end of the
so,
day,
but it's like enough times we're working so hard towards this money that we are forgetting what we're working for in the first place, and you know, and taking the time. It's hard.
Yeah, it's hard. Take that time for yourself. Yeah, must. No matter what, you could be walking away.
Look, Trisha said Trisha said she child cried too.
But the one that's on it, I just buy something. I just buy chocolate and
lucky.
Just get them in.
My kids are 2 and 3 years old. One's about to be 3, one's about to be 4. They just really, really fully understand what Halloween was this year. So they were just so happy to trick or treat. My neighborhood is really good about that. We have a lot of Victorian houses. So like I feel like every couple of houses, some people didn't, but they got enough candy for them. I'm not even letting them have all that candy. So
yeah, boy, I'm
my daughter. My 12-year-old son, like, he didn't remember that. I called him and I say, but he asked about you. She said no. He asked about it. I said, all right.
As long as because my daughter been doing it religiously for I think like probably 6-7 years now. Since she young, you know, we doing it. And she look forward to it every year. I know this year she was planning to roll with her pillowcase because she said the bags carry hold enough candy.
Oh, wow.
So she was real. We pass around in the neighborhood and thing, but you know, everybody house lock up everything.
But that's the thing, was going out, all Park Slope and thing. I had a lot of people.
That's where you have to go, Park Slope.
That's why I usually go. Yeah. I go Park Slope because I used to walk over there. Hey, RKG, good morning, brother.
I know where to get that good candy.
Yeah, I know where to get that good candy. Because the Walgreens, I remember I started the Walgreens right on the corner there, and then I started there as a cashier, became the manager, so I get to know everybody in that neighborhood, like personally. So I just go over there and they just get the best of the best candy over there. So. Anyway, good morning to you guys. Good morning to everyone on the live. Roxanne say why I still have $50 left back in candy. Thing only I have 5 children, 5 grandchildren. Oh my God. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for this.
Warning. Controversial.
It's not against the law for me to speak my mind.
Hard-hitting reality.
She can't say what Camille thought. She doesn't know that. She's not Camille.
Trouble in the Morning has your news headlines.
Then wake that ass up.
Wake your ass up. Wake your ass up.
Trouble in the morning. Hey. This is your girl, Nyla Blackman, and you're tuned into Trouble in the Morning.
So it's officially time for the news headline, and in the news headline this morning, we have law enforcement officers used pepper spray on Saturday to break up a march to a polling place in Graham, North Carolina. According to a statement from the Graham Police Department, officers pepper sprayed to the ground to disperse the crowd. Demonstrators were deemed unsafe and unlawful. Now, question is, what the demonstrators were? Were they Biden supporters or were they Trump supporters? That's the question at the moment.
Well, right? Of course, no. But that's how you know what it is. Because at the end of the day, we've seen time and time again Trump supporters strolling around with guns, with all kind of weapons and stuff like that, and nothing happening to them.
The Trump supporters with guns outnumber the police 50-1 according to our last poll. So we in some serious problem.
This is going to be scary, and I don't think we all understand how scary.
But can you imagine you organizing something?
So that's the thing. I think they want us to be scared so that we allow them to vote and put Trump back in there for another couple of years. But all they go out and vote.
It's scary.
Time and time again, voter suppression, voter intimidation. I've never seen anything like this in any other election.
I see the way how it's some people carrying on and driving in the streets and things like.
They gain on
flags and all kinds.
I don't have it in the news, so I go talk about it. You see in Texas on the streets, they surround a Biden bus. And running them out at the tongue?
Trying to run them off the road, trying to slow them
down.
down.
Fighting for them, just fight because of just ignorance and that.
Boy, crazy boy.
That's what concerns me because I look at it like this. If they're willing, granted they didn't know if Biden was in that truck or anything like that. If they're willing to surround that truck, that's a campaign truck. That's the vice president. What are they willing to do if things don't go their way?
Just how the Black Americans was using the protests to mash up things and act the fool and ignorance.
Yeah, it's payback. It's payback for them.
These white kids going to act with this.
Payback.
They've been always doing this though. You just don't see it as heavily reported.
In our day. All right. In other news, a North Carolina pastor accused of urinating on a female passenger during a flight has resigned his post. Daniel Chambers, who was on board the October 12 Detroit-bound flight from Las Vegas, expressed grief and horror. All right. He also quoted as saying he is not ready for this type of heat that he's bringing. All right, Chambers, who was confronted by the Smiths as to why he didn't address the issue earlier, he claimed he was horrified over his actions and the effects of a fellow passenger, according to their statement.
He didn't know. I don't understand.
No, all right, what it is, right? He was on a drug called Ambien. I guess it's a sleep aid. But he also had quite a few.
No, listen to me.
On the plane.
I've heard some crazy stories about people on Ambien. There's literally like a you know how they joke about Xanax? Not that you should joke about these things. There's jokes about Ambien.
I would not come on him that hard then.
But this is why, this is what you think. The woman is suing for $1 million, right? So now, this is why he stepped down. It has nothing to do with grief or anything because she's suing for $1 million. It obviously is going to go back to the church and wherever the case may be. So they're trying to put it aside.
He should pull in Ambien. Let Ambien be.
No, he messed up because the very first line on the Ambien bottle says, do not mix with alcohol. So that is his problem there. But I know that... Shandy's here. I know they're gonna use it as an excuse, so to speak. He was, I think, 41 or something. Is he up there in age? He up there in age.
Yeah, that
I mean, this is a grown man. He's horrified. He probably clearly had no idea what he was doing.
Yeah, because according to passengers on the plane, they say they saw him got up and walk down to the back, where the toilet area is, And then he probably think he was in the bathroom. And I honestly believe he didn't do that. It wasn't a pervert to that. I don't think it was a pervert to that. Hey, Gavin, good morning. Gavin Kemba, good morning. Boss Chef Scranny, morning. All right. In other news, NYC Sheriff shuts down a big Halloween party in Brooklyn warehouse. The trick-or-treat was on hundreds of people treating themselves to a pre-Halloween bash. City Sheriff shut down a massive underground party early Saturday morning for more than 387 people danced and drank in a Brooklyn warehouse, thumbing their nose at the city's social distancing rules.
Was it Yankees?
I believe it was.
I just hope it was Yankees.
The illegal event was closed down at Meadow Street near Bogart Street in East Williamsburg about 1 a.m. yesterday morning. 9 event organizers were hit with multiple misdemeanors and violating the city health codes, social distancing rules, and alcoholic beverage control law, the sheriffs officially tweeted.
That's
big dance last night.
Yeah, but I think it was a Black American.
Shandy, good morning.
Good morning.
Where's Shandy's microphone? Oh, right here. Good morning. How are you? You up?
Yes, I'm up.
Yeah. And Shandy walking, she just had it. Yes, I'm up. All right. Internationally, Boris Johnson announces a month-long coronavirus lockdown for England. Now it is time to stay home with COVID-19 surging. Some British Prime Minister Boris Johnson announced plans for the 4-week lockdown in England beginning on Thursday of this week. Now it's time to stay at home because there is no alternative, he says. All right, Britain surpassed more than 1 million COVID cases. The measures would close bars, restaurants, except for takeout. That's reported by the BBC. Now, remember it started in China and then it trickled down to that side and then it hit America.
I was going to say, we're about to hit
we're going at it again. You're seeing that, right?
Yeah, but here's the difference. The difference is when that first happened, we didn't appropriately shut down the borders. We didn't appropriately shut down travel. And so because of that, that's how we really got this, the surge. So hopefully, because we're more, depending on what happened with the election.
Remember you just
depending on what happened with the election.
A big party, Remember you were just talking about shutting down a big party.
Yeah. Man.
If we
So wait. the World Health Organization might be right, because they say if you catch it one time, you can't really get it a second time.
No, they said they're not sure.
They're not sure.
And they're not sure how long the antibodies last. For example, I swore that I had it. I really felt like I had it in April. When I went and took the antibodies test 3 months later, I did not have antibodies. Now, it's a possibility, number one, that not everybody creates antibodies. That's a first. But also, they don't know how long the antibodies would last. They don't know, can you recatch it? There's been some cases in South Korea where they did say people recorded. So there's not enough information.
I know our producer had the scare of his life as well, and he went and get 3 tests so far. I think it's 2 or 3 you got so far. You got how much? 2 you got so far.
But I also want everybody to keep in mind that there's different strains of it as well. What happened in China was not the same in Europe as opposed to what happened here. I think what was in China and Europe came to America, and we had our own version as well. So that's one thing to also keep in mind. And some people who also felt like Gigi, that they had it, some cases didn't have it. That's why they didn't have the antibodies. I've tested. I didn't know I had it, or was exposed to it. I mean, I could know, I do understand where I've been exposed to it, as I stated before, but I have antibodies. As Gigi stated before, we don't know how long the antibodies stay in. I think antibodies stay there, but if it's a new strain, it's not going to be as effective to help you.
But you know, there are people who had it, don't even know they had it.
Yeah. I knew when I had it. I feel that immediately, like morning, and then by lunchtime. Yeah, I went. I
lost my taste and smell for a whole month. So for me to not have antibodies, how the hell did I? It's not like I had any other symptoms, so that's just weird.
Y'all remember? I think it was last week's show where we was talking about seeing a therapist and going, and a lot of people, and I think it was only 2 of us were the only ones that ever saw a therapist.
No, it was me. It was me. I saw a therapist. Also, the 3 of us. Yeah.
You went and saw a therapist? No, you didn't. So I didn't either. So I said, give me a touch. Give me a touch. A Virginia woman who pretended to be a psychologist and treated more than 100 patients was sentenced to 11 years in prison this week. 44-year-old Sharonda Avery practiced at the former pediatric Partners for Attention and Learning in Stafford for 3 years, where she worked under a licensed doctor, according to Fredericksburg Freelance Star. Avery handed out fake diagnoses, prescriptions to her patients, primarily children, and even testified in court as a medical expert. And then they want me go.
Meanwhile, they want to put me in court, but you're not checking your expert's credentials. Can you imagine? Can you imagine?
All right. While her lawyer argued that she suffered from mental health issues, the woman had mental health issues, and she wanted to shoot that same person like me. The prosecution called her con artist. She was convicted of 5 counts of obtaining money by false pretenses, 2 counts of passing forged documents, perjury, and practicing psychology without a license, and sentenced to 46 years with all but 11 suspended. Yes, man, lock shop. She gonna be a psychologist in jail.
Yeah, I mean.
All right. Locally, beginning in November, all Jamaican passport holders must pay $40 per person for a new medical and crisis response insurance fee. All right. That's said by the Honorable Edmund Bartlett, co-chairman of the Global Tourism Resilience and Crisis Management Center. They said newly created Jamaican Cares program will meet an unmet need in evolving travel industry by providing medical coverage and emergency evacuation services as the pandemic continues. I know Jamaicans is Gigi's favorite type of people.
You're funny. Well, that's basically for all non-Jamaican passport holders. So, for example, anybody who is not from Jamaica who wants to travel into Jamaica, anybody would have to pay this additional $40, and it will cover some kind of international health coverage, especially with COVID or anything going on. They would even send you back from wherever you came from, like return you back home or whatever, just to make sure.
So they're saying for the $40 fee, travelers will be provided international health coverage up to $100,000 and on-island health coverage up to $50,000, plus case management, transport logistics, field rescue, evacuation, and return home for medical emergency. That's including the COVID-19. Currently, visitors must undergo a temperature checks, have a negative COVID-19 test, and complete a travel authorization application. The new fee will be included as part of the application process.
I actually want to commend Jamaica because they were the first countries within the Caribbean that actually started the protocol of tracking. So when you come into the country, after you test negative, you still have to track fill out a tracker, download the tracking app, and then they track to see where you're going. So let's just say if you're supposed to be in Tivoli Gardens and you end up in White Castle, they'll ask you, why are you over on this side? Police will come and escort you back to where you need to go.
Well,
so I would commend them for their protocols. They've really been ahead of the game. And to my understanding, they've been following, not CDC, sorry. They've been following World Health Organization guidelines. So
yeah, but they're beating that system. Because men going on with 2 phones and leaving 1 phone in the hotel.
No, it's a watch actually.
No, but
because what happened,
So
right?
you branded me when I reached in, so you like putting some tracker thing on me? Oh, no.
So you just, all you do is go down with 2 phones, get them the 1 phone with
that's
the
what I
tracking,
heard too. Some people was doing that.
They're taking I could speak for Grenada because my boy just went to Grenada and he had to quarantine for 14 days. So they gave him a tracking watch. And no cell phone number is required. Wherever you're going to stay, if it doesn't have a landline in that house, you have to stay in a hotel. I think it's the Radisson Hotel or something. You have to stay. But wherever you at, it has to have a landline. So they're going to call you every single day to check up on you, and you have to answer the telephone.
Right, exactly.
You understand?
But I just want to point out that these people are following the World Health Organization guidelines, whereas our president here was shunning those guidelines. And those guidelines seem to be effective or were effective. Well, it's effective in the Caribbean, and it was effective at a point in time in Europe before they started their surging. The reason why the surges occurred is because they've opened back up completely. And a lot of people, when you open back completely, you tend to forget, let your guard down, don't want to wear a mask, and just want to live your life.
Yeah.
So
it's crazy. So that's it for the news headlines.
Warning, controversial.
It's not against the law for me to speak my mind.
Hard-hitting reality.
She can't say what Camille thought. She doesn't know that. She's not Camille.
Trouble in the Morning has your news headlines.
So wake that ass up.
Wake your ass up. Wake your ass up.
Trouble in the morning.
When we come back, we speak to Just D. This is Trouble in the Morning. Good morning, guys.
Yo, this is Buck Wild, from Outer Greens, come to deal with things, link up with Lion Pope, we don't deal with certain things, Watching, mix a local and visit, watching, mix a local and visit, yeah, we that thinger, yeah, I'm a thinger, yeah, girl a thinger, myself for no man thinger, you want to play my santinger, wind up on a santinger, you want to get fresh santinger, rolling with the big boss santinger, boy you don't well and think Juve, you make it sell and thinger, you want to make jail and thinger, man making you throw pill and thinger, woman it tang and thing, your man stand up in gang and thing now, weapon in hand and thing, just put on that and no jam and thing now, certain things that we do, I tell you a lot of things that I do, certain things that we know, I tell you a lot of things that I know, certain things that we do, I tell you a lot of things that I do, certain things that we know, I tell you a lot of things that I know. Sympathics are from and thing now, me people are dumb and thing now, full up a tongue and thing, we talented from a young and thing now, we don't drink rum and thing now, looking for fame and thing now, blocking out drain and thing, next day your body in pain and thing now, certain games we play and thing, but no man to his own and thing now, never yet lost and thing, he come with a better class and thing now, so stop all them glad man thing now, linking up pics and thing now, pussy for likes and thing, just think about the young girl life and thing now, certain things that we do, I tell you a lot of things that I do, certain things that we know, I tell you a lot of things that I know, certain things that we do, I tell you a lot of things that I do, certain things that we know, I tell you a lot of things that I know. Watching, mix a local and visitor. Watching, mix a local and visitor. Yeah, we that thinger, you're my thinger, you're girl a thinger, myself for no man thinger, you want to play my santinger, wind up on a santinger, you want to get fresh santinger, rolling with the big boss santinger, boy you don't well and think Juve, where you make it sell and thing now, you want to make jail and thinger, man making you throw pill and thinger, woman it tongue and thing, your man stand up in gang and thing now, weapon in hand and thing, just put on that and no jam and thing now, certain things that we do, I tell you a lot of things that I do, certain things that we know, I tell you a lot of things that I know, certain things that we do, I tell you a lot of things that I do, certain things that we know, I tell you a lot of things that I know.
captures your events, your business, your ideas. Visit NIKKIGmedia.com. Also on all social media platforms, including IG, Facebook, SoundCloud, and now on iTunes. At Nikki G The Voice. Nikki G The Voice. Something soothing. Flower Bomb Brunch Soiree. No April Fool. The Sexy and Share Edition. Something hype. New York City. We Match app and We Entertainment says it's We Year 2020. Something captivating for your station. West Indian Jams Radio, where quality meets perfection. Something with pure vibes. DJ Koi D, the hottest DJ, bringing you good vibes. Email NikkiGTheVoice@gmail.com. Ringtones, audiobooks, podcasts, and more. Quick, professional, reliable services at your fingertips. It only takes one voice.
This is your girl Nyla Blackman, and you're tuned into Trouble in the Morning.
Good morning. Welcome back to all the crews that's in the Trouble in the Morning chat. Also to our good friends over here on Mixcloud. Let me see who is on Mixcloud and who's talking to us. Good morning to Keisha on the Mixcloud. Morning to Berta. Morning to Tracy. Morning to DJ Hurricane. Good morning to you guys on the Mixcloud. Now we have live with us all the way from Barbados. We have our good friend Just D. He's definitely in the building with us today. Also, we have via Zoom. You guys saw we missing one in the studio, so she's here via the video call as well. Just D, you can hear us on the outside.
No, I can't hear him.
You can't hear us. Let me make sure all of them. You hear me now?
We're on it.
Yeah, he's there. So let me just let this producer come sort this out, and we good to go from here on out. You can hear me now?
No.
Yeah, I don't think he's hearing us out there in the studio. So let me just make sure everything is up here. All right.
Oh, just for him to.
So we are live, as you guys can see. Just D is on the screen right now, and we're gonna speak with him.
You have any face now?
Yeah, daddy dark man, sweet man thing. Hey, good morning. You guys just continue to share the live. Just D is here with us this morning, and we're definitely gonna speak to him right now. Good morning to Kimba. Kimba say yes, my sweet land of Jamaica. They should all do
breakfast,
that.
But you're hungry, right? Passing on breakfast after
Man
the
say you
show.
passing for breakfast. We're gonna get breakfast.
Oh, you said don't make breakfast.
Morning, Ems.
Morning. Happy Sunday. Was that Paris? Paris, good morning. Happy Sunday
Ralphie?
to you. Good morning.
Nikki's not hearing anything.
Yeah, they can't hear us right now. So let's see. They're gonna hear us in a quick second. So let me do this in the meantime.
This is your girl Nyla Blackman, and you're tuned into Trouble in the Morning.
Come last night to him.
Yeah.
Big Red Production.
Whoa, yeah. It's tiny, yeah. Big Red Production. Yeah, see me behavior I get from me mother. On my waist down and I walk it proper. The wassiness I get from me mother. Waist side spinning until it catch a fire. I want to ya, I want to back it up. Give me the oil, time for the daddy no. I'm getting on bad, leave me out on the road. Turn up the vibes, I mean I'm stopping now. I am not a saint, I come to start the drama. Why you stand up over there watching me from the corner? You can't bring a wrench, I don't want no screwdriver. Come over, fix me, I beat it up with a hammer. I want to back it up, give me the oil. Time for the daddy no. I'm getting on bad, leave me out on the road. Turn up the vibes, I mean not stopping now. Yeah, see me behavior I get from me mother. On my waist down and I walk it proper. The wassiness I get from me mother. Waist side spinning until it catch a fire. I want to
this morning. All right, Justin, you can hear us now.
Yeah.
Yes. We are definitely live back this morning. So let me turn back up this headphone a little bit here. Good morning to you, brother. How are you?
Not too bad. What's up, my your Morning.
Definitely. Yeah. I know you hit me up this morning and it was like, is it 9:30? I clean forget that time went back here, you know, Bridget. That is what take place, you know. Yeah. So I telling him man 9:30, he's like, yeah, it's not 9:30, it's 10:30 now.
Yeah, you had me up early.
Yeah, boy. I clean forget about the time going back. So good morning, brother. How are you?
I great, man. You're alive and well, man. Can't complain. Just blessed.
Yeah. Wait, I know you're taking the Allison versus Patrice, which was a clear beat up on Patrice. You know, I don't know why she agreed to that, but you know.
Thank you.
Akil, don't start.
Thank you.
What's your thoughts on it? What's your thoughts?
I mean, for me, it was more like a showcase. You know, to me, it wasn't really a competition.
Thank you very much.
Everybody know, you know, ain't really in the competition. The years that Allison have in the business, you know, Patrice don't have. You know, but it was just to me a showcase of great music and, you know, two good artists.
Yeah, it was a great showing. The thing for me is it had a fella on the stage called Room, boy. That man pissed me off, boy. Yeah, that man pissed me off, boy. He was too extra, boy. Like, I don't know.
I do know that.
Yeah, boy. So, Justy, let's talk about you a little bit. Since we last spoke a couple months ago, you was here in the US and we spoke on the interview. What's been happening new with you since then?
Well, since then I've been quarantined, you know, like everybody.
Yeah.
But nah, just kidding. Apart from that, you know, I just been working, man. I mean, you know, we obviously had to switch up some of the plans because we was just preparing to head back to New York just before the whole lockdown and Canada and stuff. So had to cancel those things, and then we just decided to, you know, get on the grind, do music, put together an album, etc.
That's it. So you've been working. You're doing a lot of producing. I heard recently you're releasing some things.
Yeah, man, for sure. You know, I can't stop. I mean, I think this time, you know, I actually got to sit down and actually like become creative again because I've been on the road since 2017. So I was still producing, but you know, it was just kind of falling in the background, falling behind to the artistry.
Definitely. So talk to me. There's a lot of big things happening as far as the production of your music over here. I know you got into some you're getting closer to a Grammy, so to speak. So talk to us about the accomplishments you had in the past, let's say, past month, 2 months.
All right, well, let me see. Since lockdown, you know, we dropped an album, my first album. You know, it's called The Other Side. It's available everywhere. You know, if people, I plug in myself now too. If people still using Napster and Rhapsody, it's there as well as Spotify and Apple. It's available everywhere. It's 15 songs on the album. I produced and wrote 14 of them. Oh, wow. And then one of them was produced by a Nigerian producer called Killer Shit. Shout out to him. Streaming wise, you know, over probably like 160,000 streams already, which is good.
Nice.
Apart from that, you know, we still drop music, even though we had no crop over. I can't go anywhere. I drop a tune called Bohan, which is actually the lead single off of the album. And from the time we drop it, it was instant, man. You know, there were plenty TikTok videos, dancers doing choreography. You know, people like Bambi, Nandi just picked it up and ran with it. And then, like, I think at the beginning of August or the beginning of September, Spotify actually put it on their dancehall official playlist.
Okay.
So along the like the Cranium and the Swannies and the Daps right now, you know, we got just the Boom Bang up in there.
So was that the intention to put it out as a dancehall, or you're just happy they put it in that category? Because I know they're probably in a soca category.
Like, it's a fusion.
Okay.
You know, because anybody know me from doing 9 and doing manager, only thing she know is always this borderline, you know, that I try to be on.
Yeah.
You know, I want my music to be able to play in a soca fete, but at the same time, I want a DJ to be able to blaze it in a dancehall or a hip hop, you know, setting. If you feel like, you know, it has that vibe, you know, so for them to put it there, you know, it tell me something. Maybe I need to do some dancehall.
Yeah. Say something. Real talk.
It's funny. I was listening to his album on the way here with AKIL, and I literally turned to AKIL and I said, I wonder if he has a dancehall influence or something, because to me he doesn't sound like other Bayesian soca artists that I've heard, and you know, and not that that's a bad thing. He just has a different, unique style, which I think is great.
But if I give a little funny story of how I came across Just D's music, right? So Just D sang a song, I left home to party and find myself down in a hole, right? So now hear the thing, right? I was making love to my girl now. And she started singing that song. I said, what the hell you singing there? She's like, you never hear that song? She was like, all right, I'm going to end the story there.
That's awesome.
So Justin, tell us a little bit about where you came from in Barbados. Give us a little bit about your background, growing up and stuff.
Well, I grew up normal like everybody else, went to church on Sundays. Was a huge fan of church back then. Never really given any trouble. Never used to be on the blocks, layman, none of that stuff. Funny enough, from young, I always wanted to be in the music industry. I think that's them from when my dad said when I was in the womb, he would put the radio to my mom's tummy and say, "Let's music." So I guess that's all I knew. So I just always wanted to be in music. We had a competition here called Richard Stoke Teen Talent. Edwin won it. Allison was in it. Rupee won it. I entered it. I had a group. I came third. After that, I just called every studio in Barbados, trying to get amongst people that just deal with music. And I started rapping. So I was watching a lot of BET, VH1, I think that's what it's called. And listening to a lot of pop music. And I honestly really wasn't into the whole soca movement at all. I just didn't understand it. I just didn't feel it. But then after, I realized the rapping going anywhere, I started to sit down and figure out how I'm going to get in this game, how I can be in this industry. And I decided, all right, you know what? I'm going to become a writer. And if I could write for 10 people, that's 10 people that will promote my name when they go to the studio or go on stage. So, I started studying it. And then I came across Rupee. And he had just bust with the whole Tempted to Touch movement.
Okay.
And I was like, yo, this song, there's a nice vibe. It got that line. So I studied him a bit. I wrote a song, I put it out, got 1 or 2 airplay. And then the next year, I met his DJ and I was like, yo, send this song to Rupee, see if he would sing it. So I did that, I put it all out there. And then he came back to me. He was like, yo, Rupee really loved the song. But the only problem was in soca, an artist don't put out a song that has been released before. Normally, it don't happen. So he sent me a rhythm. He was like, write something and let me see what you got. So I wrote like 2 songs. And then he took one that was in 2010, a song called All Night Long. And then after that, I tell myself, yo, I rich, no, I bust, no. So I made it. But then after that, I started getting some calls from like some producers and stuff. And I met a producer called Chris Allman, who worked with like some of everybody, Alison, Dexter, Rupee, LL Cool J, a whole bunch of people. And he called me in to do a project for free for a month for St. Martin artists, and I was excited. So I went and I did it. So while I was there every day, I started meeting artists, writers, keyboardists, you name it, whole heap of people in the industry. And then Chris was like, yo, why you don't do soca? And I was like, nah, Chris, I ain't know about this whole soca thing. I want to be a rapper. I want to be like 50 Cent and them guys. Chris was like, nah, man, do soca, but just do it your way. And from the time he said do it your way, it hit a chord in me, and it just stuck. And that's what I did. So I was producing it. The first soca song I did was a huge song in Barbados called Mega Monday. It was big, second in Road March to Feeling the Feeling. Don't know how they beat me, but still too. And then after that, I got a message from my manager now, my current manager, Paul Paris.
Yeah.
And he was working with Ioctane at the time. And he was like, yo, we looking for some material for Ioctane. But then he was like, yo, you used to sing. Why you don't start back, doing something? And we sat down and we came up with a 3-year plan. And we basically bust in year 2.
Nice.
But Nani. And then obviously in 2018, we had like 3 Crackers, Whole, Manager, Only Thing She Know. And then following that, So What? Just started from there. Really.
Hits after hits. But listen, if I could put this question so eloquently, who is on your hit list for you to write for next? Like, I know you love the writing, so who's on your hit list? Who you have your eyes set on? Who's in your targets?
Wow. First, I gotta look at who I have on the rhythm for. Let me see. Because I mean, I wanted to do something for Patrice, but did that. We got something there put down during quarantine. I would probably go outside. I would love to do something for our home Princess Rihanna.
Oh wow! Nice. That's a good one. So I'll get into some more questions, but I want to see my panel have anything to ask you guys. You guys have any questions for Just D this morning? I know you remember Shandy. You from Watch Trouble. Hey, good morning to Hyper Songs. I see Hyper Songs is here on the live as well. You guys ever worked together?
I'm like, what camera looking?
You and Hyper Songs ever did anything together?
Yeah, we did. Well, not as a collab, but like I did one of his songs called "Closer to Me," and then he just dropped a big tune that getting enough love right now on the same Inside Out with him called "Bad Gal."
Okay.
What have you got?
Yeah, man.
Well,
man, we just talk all the time, exchange ideas, equipment, everything.
So I know AKIL is asking
what
if
other
you
artists you
yeah.
deal with besides Rupee?
Sorry?
Besides Rupee, what other artists you deal with?
Alright, let me see how much time we have here now. Okay. I work with Alison Hines, Rupee, Hyper Songs, Father Fox, King Bubba, Teddyson John, Ricardo Drew, Marshall Montano, Busy Signal, Shaggy, Octane, Lil Rick, Biggie Irie.
Man, listen, long boy.
I'm gonna ask a question.
It goes on and on, a whole heap, man, a whole heap. For real. Been blessed, unfortunate to be honest.
Definitely.
So you said you had a 3-year plan. It's Shandy. Hi, love. You said you had a 3-year plan. So within the 3 years, you bust within year 2. What formula or what happened in order for that to happen? Like, what steps did you take for that to happen in less than 3 years? You see, I'm going to highlight there was an importance of making a long-term goal. So how did you end up cracking that code a lot sooner?
Well, basically what my team and I did, when we said, okay, 3 years to do it, we decided what type of music we were going to do. What was the market? We were targeting females. Once the females happy, the men can buy drinks at the bar and the promoters can be happy and everybody can be happy. And, girls gonna come out and support. And once women coming out to support, the men can follow because say he's a shot, he got all the girls. So we targeted women, but we also decided not to what's the word I'm looking for? Well, we decided to empower them in a sense. So like manager, raise your hand if you don't need a man to control you, but you need somebody who could handle you like emotionally, that kind of stuff. Also, we decided, okay, we can't just rely on radio, because everybody going to radio. We need to get in front of actual people. So we started to hit the ground like mad. In our first year, we did like a whole year of free shows. We're talking Barbados, Miami, Hartford, New York, Labor Day. We just took money out of our pockets and we just went in front of these people, rub shoulders with these people, try to get in them psyche, let them know that you're serious. We had a publicist, we had a stylist, so the clothes I was wearing, I wasn't choosing. I really didn't like all of them, but it was part of the whole process. For me personally, I was like, how are we gonna get people to remember who I look like?
Yeah.
So we started putting my face on every poster. I dyed whole head this color so that people could stand up when they go places. It was boy, that's just Nico. He's the only body here with a head full of dye, or bleach, whatever. So certain things like that we put in motion.
So let me ask you a question. Seeing that everything that you know now, right? As far as the music is concerned, as far as, your 3-year plan working out in 2 years and all of that stuff, what's one thing you wish you had known when you started your career that you know now?
It's definitely better if you have financial support because it's very expensive. People think that, when you get the big song, the hit song, that's it. And then from there it's just road and you're living good and you're making a lot of money, but you just got to spend a lot of money too, because the world is a big place. 100,000 artists doing the same thing and everybody fighting for that top 10 position. So to get in them playlists and to get in them top 10 charts and to get them radio spins and a whole bunch. Yeah, if you got a lot of financial support, you could go further and get there faster.
So, well, that would answer my next question, because I was going to ask you what some of the best resources you had going through, you know. So I guess money is definitely the answer to that question. All right. Now, let me ask you another weird question here. If you had to speak to one famous dead person, what would that conversation be like?
I'll probably speak to Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Because he born one day before me, so then I'll be like, yo, Virgos, man.
August 28th? my sister is a 29. My sister is a 29. So, like, I mean, I know Shandy had a question for you as well.
So my next question would be, it looks like, are you home? Is that your house?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So you ended up.
business.
No, I was just observing. I'm just like, this looks like a home studio. So
business out on you.
Did you build this up during the pandemic, or this was something that you always had and you just added on?
Yeah, I added. Yeah, I kind of just remodeled because I found that being home so much and just seeing the TV in the front house and the kitchen over and over, and this room, I didn't feel it coming in this room anymore. So I was like, you know what? I need to switch it up, and I just decided to switch it up.
So what exactly did you make? What changes did you make inside the room to create creative juices going?
Well, I'd like to change the flooring, put up some more sponge. You know, it's not even finished, but you know, like right now, you know, we could just. I could change it.
Good morning to you guys. This is Trouble in the Morning. We are speaking live with Just D, and we're gonna get into one of Just D's songs really quickly, and we come back and talk to Just D.
It's Just D. Girl, bring your body over here. Wind up like you know me. Yeah. Girl, bring your body over here. No matter with the long talk, girl, show me. Act like you want top, girl, sit down one right. Sit down one right, sit down one right. Bounce it on the spot, girl, sit down one right. Sit down one right, sit down one right. Every girl come back out on it. Free up yourself, take out your stress out on it. Dip, dip, dip on the tip. Dip, dip, dip on the tip. Back out on it. Free up yourself, take out your stress out on it. Dip, dip, dip on the tip. Dip, dip on the tip. Wine like the body belong to you. Grind like the body belong to you. Me money long, show me what you can do. Show me what you can do. If you know your body nicey, nicey, nice, nice. Grip me firm and tighty, tighty, tight, tight. Show me the freaky things when me like. Girl, lock your body like you dip on the bike. Act like you want top, girl, sit down one right. Sit down one right, sit down one right. Bounce it on the spot, girl, sit down one right. Sit down one right, sit down one right. Every girl come back out on it. Free up yourself, take out your stress out on it. Dip, dip, dip on the tip. Dip, dip, dip on the tip. Work out on it. Free up yourself, take out your stress out on it. Dip, dip, dip on the tip. Dip, dip on the tip. Wine like the body belong to you. Grind like the body belong to you. Me money long, show me what you can do. Show me what you can do. Girl, bring your body over here. Wind up like you know me. Yeah. Girl, bring your body over here. No matter with the long talk, girl, show me. Every girl come back out on it. Free up yourself, take out your stress out on it. Dip, dip, dip on the tip. Dip, dip, dip on the tip. Work out on it. Free up yourself, take out your stress out on it. Dip, dip, dip on the tip. Dip, dip on the tip. Act like you want top, girl, sit down one right. Sit down one right, sit down one right. Bounce it on the spot, girl, sit down one right. Sit down one right, sit down one right. Act like you want top, girl, sit down one right. Sit down one right, sit down one right. Bounce it on the spot, girl, sit down one right. Sit down one right, sit down one right. Girl, bring your body over here. Wind up like you know me. Yeah. Girl, bring your body over here. No matter with the long talk, girl, show me.
Gigi done getting the words already here, Just D. See that she done picking up the words. So this one was called Pon the Tip by Just D. Good morning, guys. It's Trouble in the Morning. We are talking to Just D live out of Barbados right now. And I know we covered a lot of ground, but I have some really direct questions here to ask you, Just D. All right. And one of them is you've been an artist for so many years. You know, you've seen a lot of things go on in the music industry, both in front and behind the scenes. And I wanted to ask you a question. What's your biggest failure and what did you learn from it?
That's a tough one. Biggest failure. I don't know. I can't think of any right now.
Yeah, I feel.
I feel like I'm so much stuck on the positives that when something like that happens, the negative I don't store it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I can't think of any right now.
So let me rephrase and ask you this question a different way. How do you handle disappointment and rejection?
Well, I mean, like everybody else, you know, it just feels terrible and sour. Like, you want to just bury your head under the sand, you know. But then sometimes you either gotta realize it's either, you know, people in on that frequency, so they don't get it, or just people just like what they like. You know, some people are gonna like it, some people are gonna not like it. So just move on.
Just move
try
on.
something else.
So 2020 has been a rocky year for a lot of us. So I'm quite sure a lot of things have changed for you. What is your biggest fear up to date now?
My biggest fear is not being able to travel and actually like do what I love in front of people and see people from different places that I never met before actually singing something that I create in my head. You know, I brought to life in my head. So I think that would be one of my biggest fear. With the changes that happen, you know, I just feel like we just need to adapt, you know, adapt to them and find new ways of getting music out and getting yourself out there and staying relevant. Like, the reason I felt like I needed to drop an album and keep putting out music is because I didn't want to get depressed, you know, and I didn't want my team to get depressed either. So I gave them something to do.
How would you feel if the new norm now is you really can't travel and you have to do virtual concerts? How will you adapt to that? Seeing that you love to see new people, you know, what if the new way is just to visit people via Zoom? How would you adjust to that?
Wow, boy, that's a tough one. I don't know.
For real.
I'm not a huge fan of virtual because, let me tell you a story. You know, normally you would do a gig for 15, 20 minutes. You get paid for it, whatever. I had to do a virtual gig the other day for the same 10, 15 minutes, but it took 2 hours because the camera guy wanted this angle, next angle. That is enough work. So, I mean, I don't know, man, but if that's the way that it has to be, you know, we are all humans, we will just adapt. You know, like how things change over the years, we just have to adapt to it. That's all. It makes no sense complaining if you can't do nothing about it.
That's it. So, one more question before we let you go, Just D. What advice would you give to your younger self?
My younger self? I would say
He's FaceTiming on the...
If I was talking to my younger self, I would say Just D. Well, I would have been Just D before, so, but anyways, Just D. Utilize your time. Don't waste it, because that's one thing you can never, ever get back. That would be the one thing I would say.
Definitely. So, Just D, anybody you want to shout out, any love you want to send to anyone in the Barbados across the world right now?
Yeah, man, for sure. I want to send love to everybody that's supporting my team, myself, my music, the movement, the whole soca, the culture, everything. I want to shout out to you guys, you know, for interviewing the artists, you know, keeping up to date, for playing the music, pushing it, supporting it. You know, like, we need y'all need us. My management team, big up to everybody out there who on the live. Hyper Sounds, if you're still in chat, bless up, we can link you after. And yeah, man, just hope everybody keeps safe.
So just let us know quickly where we can find or purchase Just D's music online, and as far as anyone who would like to contact you for dub plates, anything of that sort, just let us know the info.
Right. If you need, you know, to find the music, you can Google Just D songs, and I can be first by that pop up. Or you could just go on Spotify, Just D, hit the website, IamJustD.com, or just go to my Instagram. That's at IamJustD. That's IamJusD. Follow me there or click the link there. If you need any dubs, you know, you can email me at IamJustD@gmail.com. You you know, or just hit me up on social media. Myself and my team always on Instagram, so that's the fastest way to link up. If you want to send any rhythms, send any songs, want to do a collab, you know, anything, just hit me up, man. Let me just do this one thing.
So Rihanna, if you're watching the live this morning, just D, all right?
Yeah, man.
You're watching it live.
Just D, we love to thank you for coming on Trouble in the Morning. It's always a pleasure to speak to you, brother. Very intelligent brother yourself. So, you know, just keep up the good work. We're going to keep following up with you, and we're going to keep knowing what you're doing out there, all right? Big up to you and the entire Barbados team. Just D, thank you.
Thank you.
Bless up yourself. This is Just D featuring Hot Ice.
Me have to make more money. It's just the yeah.
When we come back after the break,
make more money.
Who is it? We have Watch Trouble.
Shit. Everybody are your friend when the money comes. So much hot gal on the ends when the money come. Invest instead of spend when the money come. Can't let the money done. Come me have to make more money. Make more money. Make more money. Come me have to make more money. Make more money. Make more money. Me need the big house on the hill, yeah. So me have to hustle till me pockets fill, yeah. Don't need a couple girls, need a couple mil, yeah. So me have to work out a strategy, yeah. Me see great things in me life. Can't let the money come and the money go. Me want drive the Benz or Bugatti, Porsche or Ferrari, drop top Audi. So me have to make more money, make more money, make more money. Come me have to make more money, make more money, make more money. Everybody are your friend when the money come. So much hot gal on the ends when the money come. Invest instead of spend when the money come. Can't let the money done. Some people make money and spend it quick. Some make it illegally or not legit. Me don't want store the money make me flip. But me could never sell me soul for it. Me see great things in me life. Can't let the money come and the money go. Me want drive the Benz or Bugatti, Porsche or Ferrari, drop top Audi. So me have to make more money, make more money, make more money. Come me have to make more money, make more money, make more money.
Hey yo, ask what I'm doing, I'm pursuing a bond. Keep money with the team, making mutual funds. It's usually fun watching it all happen. No slacking, pure equity off passion. Yes, please, I'm very well interested. On the returns on my money well invested. I mean, I just want a Wraith and a Tesla. With the top off, got me looking hella senseless. Knocked down, but I got up on my feet again. Never would I let them put an end to my dividends. People plotting on me, stepping out of line. See me as a money bag, but never get it done.
Make more money, make more money. Come me up, make more money, make more money, make more money. Everybody are your friend when the money come. So much hot gal on the ends when the money come. Invest instead of spend when the money come. Can't let the money done. Everybody are my friend when the money come. So much hot gal on the ends when the money come. Invest instead of spend when the money come. Can't let the money done. Everybody are my friend when the money come. So much hot gal on the end when the money come. Invest instead of spend when the money come. Can't let the money done.
Good morning to you and yours. You guys just continue to share the live. Continue to share the live. We are here. And it is now time for this.
Get in the conversation. It's time for Watch Trouble. Watch Trouble.
Shandy is here. Nikki is here with us. Nikki, you can hear us. Good morning.
Can Nikki hear us?
Yeah, she can hear us. I'm seeing her mouth moving, but I can't hear her.
Good morning.
All right, now we can hear you. Good morning, Nikki. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm doing fine, thank you. How's everyone?
Everyone, we're good. We're good here. So Shandy and Nikki is here with Watch Trouble.
You make breakfast, eh?
Oh, AKIL hungry. That's all he's studying is food.
Yeah, I make breakfast. When you guys done, you can come over.
I actually talking about you guys on this show, yes.
Papa, you. All right, so I'm anxious. I'm curious to hear what the topic is this morning.
So, Nikki, you start with your topic, and then we'll go into the second one, because I think it flows better that way.
Oh no, go ahead. You go ahead because I just, we just spoke about it. So
I'm gonna go with the flow of so initially we were gonna continue from last week's topic, but I think to me it makes more sense to start with her. So I'm gonna introduce her topic and then go with mine, and then we just stab out which one we want.
We can do that.
Okay, so for Nikki's topic, it's the men that we choose or the significant others we choose. Why do we choose them or how do we choose them?
Mm-hmm.
That's one. And the topic that we were gonna continue it from last week was is it possible to love two people at the same time?
Mm-hmm.
So I think to me it makes sense to start with.
Yeah.
I don't know what y'all want to do. So let's take a stab at it. What are the qualities you look for in a significant other?
I look. Can we be vain as well?
Whatever. It's a whole basket.
It's you.
This is the things that I look for.
Feet.
When I look at a woman, the very first thing I'm going to look at is your hair.
Okay.
Right now, if you have one weave on your head, most likely I'm going to pass on that opportunity. So I want to see the type of hair you have, right?
He did say that last
time. The next thing I'm going to look at is your eyebrows, right? I'm going to look at the shape of your eyes. I'm going to look at the shape of your nose.
Oh my God.
I'm going to look at the shape of your lips.
Mm-hmm.
Then I move on to fingers. I'm going to look and see how your fingers are shaped. And most likely, the most times I ever speak to a woman is when she has on open toe sandals, because I'll look at the shape of your toes.
See, I remember you mentioned feet. I remember that.
Now, the thing about it is, it's not me being...
What's about the shape? Like, let me...
All right, so now anytime I talk to a woman, I always think of having kids with her, right? And preferably daughters. I preferably looking for daughters. So I want and I know a lot of black women get mad at me when I say I'm looking for good hair, and then they ask me, what is good hair? So I'm like, the one that can grow. That's
like
so that's pretty much the things that I look at in a woman. That's what I look for. Now, when we get on to like the more substantial part of it, I try to see what kind of decisions you make in your life.
Okay.
I look at things like if you have your parents, if you grew up with two parents in a home, if you grew up with just your mom, and I started to dig a little deeper, but first glance, these are the things I look at, physical features. That's for me personally,
I thought women were more vain, but I guess it goes into
Jesus
the
Christ.
guy.
Calling me vain now?
Excuse me.
You're calling me vain now?
Nikki.
No.
It's not funny.
Talk to Sugars. That is Sugars way. Don't say that me. I tell you Sugars way.
Yeah, Roxanne, nothing fake, Roxanne.
With me, every queen on this find an equal place.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
I don't care your size, your figure. I want to know the person. Yeah, so I'm saying, because that's something you're looking pretty, and there are no ambition, the way is nasty.
Ugly inside.
You know what I'm saying? The ugly inside.
Yeah.
Pretty face and bad character.
Pretty,
so I don't choose when it comes to appearance and I want to get to know you.
Nah, boy, appearance is a big thing for me, boy.
Yeah, what?
Appearance is a big thing for me.
Nah, man, I don't have a problem with that. We don't have a problem with that.
Because I saw Trini Man. Everybody know Trini Man had the best eyelashes in the world.
Oh, God.
You know what I'm saying?
Really?
Eyelashes and eyebrows, Trini Man have
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I will show you my baby father.
Best eyebrows and eyelashes in the world.
No, I'm sorry.
Trini Man had the best eyebrows. I talking about my eyebrows.
I don't know about eyebrows, but I'm telling you, my baby father's eyelashes is something to wonder about. I'm telling you. Like, listen.
You're Jamaican?
Yeah.
But he putting on them thing, them new thing when they put on now.
No, he is not. Listen. He ain't that type of Jamaican, all right? Listen. I'm just saying, both my kids got those lashes. They ain't get them from me.
I know Trini Man yesterday. Brows. Trini Man had the best brows.
I mean,
you can't just say Trini Man.
Trini Man, Trini Man have the best brows and eyelashes.
You have a half a brow.
Who?
You
didn't see this best brow on my face?
You mad. A half a brow you have.
You bugging.
Listen to me.
I want to hear Gigi what Gigi does look for it, because whole weekend Jimmy chat talking about
honestly, I am not looking for. Honestly, I am not looking for the right things. Okay, honestly. Obviously, I have not been looking for the right things in life. Okay, so I am not a good person. I am trying to change my ways and look for new things because.
And Gigi, what he was just talking about, what we talking to chat. What we talking to chat is
no.
different from the guys that we look for.
Exactly. I look at it like this. What I'm looking for in penis is not what I'm looking for necessarily in a relationship.
I mean, she's honest.
Lord have mercy.
I mean, listen, truthfully, I don't feel like those things always have to go together. There's
some... Let me ask you a question.
Oh, God.
So you have to get a question. So a good man...
Look at it.
So a good man who live in life for the Lord, he's not a chance with you. Because a good man, no, listen to what I'm going to say. He believe in sex after marriage.
Oh, no.
So then I was saying a good man who believe in Lord, he's not a chance. You would know.
I gotta at least see it because I look at it like this. I used to deal with a man. I used to deal with this guy, and he was, you know, at least if you have something to work with, I could probably help you. But like,
you see, that's why
I gotta see it first.
All your boyfriend.
I gotta see it first. I'm not marrying you and not knowing that I'm not marrying somebody who cannot satisfy me. I'm sorry.
I agree. Hey.
I'm not saying that's the only thing. Of course, there is like emotional satisfaction. There is like, you know, whatever, all those other things. But at the end of the day, we talked about this last week. Let's not pretend. We all get here from something that is sex. I mean, for the most part, unless you go through IVF and stuff like that. So that is a big part of life, culture, thing, whatever. I also do white liver red gal here. Hello?
All right, so when you look for in a man to guide you towards this sex, all right, you know you're looking for good sex. So what you're looking for in that man now to guide you towards this good sex?
So you only getting them when they have one green sweatpants.
Tall, you want them short, you want them fat.
I mean, I'm a tall, even though Akil said I'm not tall, but for a female, I'm tall. I'm 5'9", barefoot. You know, so for me, I do need somebody that is at least taller than me. That's just me. I don't like how that looks when a man is shorter than a female. No shade to anybody. For me personally, a big thing that I look for is hygiene. Are your nails dirty? Are they clean? Are your teeth clean? You look like you have plaque in your mouth. Your tongue look white. Some nasty. You know what I'm saying? Are you wearing socks? You know, are you wearing socks as a man? Or do you have some little...
What if the man like A-class mechanic and use his hands a lot?
Okay, but
it would still see.
You have to go up.
No,
so you have to see signs. Clean.
No,
you can't
what I'm saying is this. No.
So
I'm curious as to know what is NIKKI's.
Well, I want to hear this story. I want to jump to Shandy first. I wanted to jump to Shandy first. NIKKI going running. I wanted to. We asking Shandy first or NIKKI?
I want to hear
NIKKI. Shandy. What NIKKI like?
All right, so let me just say this. Everybody's expectations.
I want to hear what you like, NIKKI. I want to hear what you like. I don't know.
Okay, let me just say this. Every woman, usually before you meet a guy, it depends on your pet peeve, right? If he's too nice, if he's too lame, if he's too weird, if he's too nerdy, or some people say, I want a real nigga. Just to put it point blank, right? Or maybe when you don't take what you like, then you end up being unhappy, like Gigi said. So she knows specifically what she wants. For me, when I look for a guy, I mean, of course, he has to be good looking. He has to be groomed, well-mannered, spoken well, love the Lord, could lead his family, hardworking. You know, those are some of the things that I like. And then secondary things, of course, is what Gigi said. I'm at home, so certain things I can't say. But
I know one say careful how you talking there. You have a glass.
Diddy, good morning, Diddy.
Yeah, but it doesn't start with the sex first for me because I want somebody with personality.
Nice.
They definitely have to have personality first. Height matters to me, definitely taller. I mean, I've met people who, you know, might be my height or a little taller. So that, you know, that works for me. So that's the qualifications of the man.
But Nikki, don't you feel like, and ladies chime in, even fellas, right? I think there's a difference. Are you looking for a relationship or are you looking for somebody to sleep with? You know what I mean?
No, I'm always looking for a relationship.
Because
then you end up getting what you don't want. You end up just getting a partner to sleep with.
What I'm saying is, I know. What I'm saying is, no, like immediately, am I jumping to check a man's size? No, of course. It depends what I'm looking for. If I'm looking to scratch an itch, then I'm good. You don't know me. I'm drop your pants.
Like,
one time, drop your pants. We look into bull. Drop your pants. We're gonna screw anyway. You know what I'm saying? But if I'm looking at you as a partner, looking at you to be in a relationship, of course, the number one priority, I'm not even getting to the draws if you don't get to a certain level in terms of your personality, the way that you treat me or whatever the case. You know what I mean?
Make you contradict yourself right now, Gigi. Hold on there, Akil. Let me make you contradict yourself. You find all the right things in the partner.
Okay.
And then, boom, you get down to the last part of the George and it's small.
Well,
where
okay.
did that happen now?
What I'm saying is, so boom, if we've gotten to a situation where we have sex and it sucks.
But he have all the right qualifications.
Listen, I have given a person like maybe 2 other things, but I just know myself. Again, I'm a white liver.
You go on him.
If
a white liver? What does that mean?
I like to have sex.
Oh, okay.
So I feel like this. Again, maybe it's not the same. Yes, if I'm not satisfied, I'm not saying just because what I'm saying is
don't polish it.
No, I'm not polishing it. I'm just saying I don't know. I couldn't sit up here and say it have to be the size. It have to be this. Listen, some men can't work with what they have, so I'm not knocking nobody. I'm just saying if we have sex and we are not sexually compatible after I have tried, if I really rating you and I'm trying to like, okay, let's see what we can work with. After a couple of times, if this ain't working, I'm gonna be real because I know myself and I would step out for sure.
But listen. Suppose that is the best man for you in life.
He's not the best man for me.
Everything in your life, but you need to move forward. You're gonna make a little thing like
somebody on the live just said that she's honest.
It's a little thing. Y'all are lying. Y'all are lying.
Don't feel again, we. Don't feel again, we.
I really thought I was.
No, you can't hear from
Don't feel again, we. We waiting to hear.
Y'all lying if you're pretending that you're not stepping out on whatever partner it is that is not satisfying your sexual needs.
Here's why I would say this. I wouldn't say I would step out. I would say at this point in time, if you've tried everything known to man, then you be honest with them. Be like, look, the sex is whack. It's either we work it out or I'm just gonna leave.
As women, y'all not willing to teach a man how to.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Of course you are.
Let me just go back to what type of man.
Oh my God, yo, you really don't.
Don't just skip everything. Let me go back to that.
All right. So for me, it's a combination of everything. For me, the first thing is the physical appearance, as you pointed out, which is common. You look for something that catches your eye. So for me, I love the smile. Like if a smile grabs me, then it's just like, all right, I'm there. I don't say I have
a smile. I
wouldn't say I have a complexion preference, but I
they can't be as light as me. Not for me.
No, I like light skin. I like light skin. I take anything. Pause.
My started running with me, but my mind leave and run. My mind going there. And I pull it back.
Yeah. So for me, I the first thing is the smile. I like Gigi pointed out. I don't like bad teeth. I can't because I'll be distracted. I'll be looking at your teeth like,
oh my God,
snag a tooth. When are we gonna fix the teeth? I can't. I'll put you in the friend zone immediately. I look for like if it's hygiene, white tongue, no, friend zone again. If you stink, friend zone again. Yeah. That's the first thing. It's can you hold a conversation after the physical, after the smile, after the great teeth, after the nice physique? Like, oh my God, like I love ass. Sorry. I like to grab. I'm a grabber. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a grabber. So if it's something that off the bat I'm looking, I'm like, yo, I could grab that. I'm interested. So from there the physical. We've done the physical. So now it's the intellectual part. Yeah. If you cannot hold an intellectual conversation with me, automatic turn off and friend zone. I like to hold stimulating conversation. For me, the biggest turn on is somebody who could educate me. I could educate them. We could communicate. We have jokes. Like I love a great sense of humor. I crack corny jokes all the time. And if you can laugh at my corny jokes, shut up. And you can understand. If you enjoy my corny jokes and you laugh just like how Sugar was laughing, yo, we good to go. You know what I'm saying? But, it's a long list. Hello, it's a long list. for me, you know, some people, I know I have some very good friends and family who love big schlongs. I am not big on the big schlong that goes up in my guts that's ready to kill me. I'm not for that.
Yeah, when I feel like
for me, it's like to me, sex is mental, and that's something the first person who took my virginity, he always taught me. He said sex is a mental thing. I never understood it, and sometimes it's better to always really do have sex with an older person because they teach you. So the first thing he taught me was, you know, sex is a mental thing, and when you get older, you'll understand it. Because I used to, when I first had sex, it was all the time. I just wanted morning, noon, night. Morning, noon, night.
You're a rabbit.
And yeah, I was a rabbit. And then he taught me, he was like, sex is a lot more to it than that. It's not just, you know, the physical. It's mental and all of that. And you need somebody to get that connection. So for me, I'm more on the connection level. Especially when you get older, you realize it's more of a spiritual thing when you have sex.
So 5 inches, you good with 5 inches?
It's not just about the 5 inches. It's more
just
like what you're doing. It's more like what are you doing with the 5 inches? Because you could have 20 inches and be phenomenal. You know what I'm saying?
Didi had a message for the ladies in the chat room. The lady Didi said, "You may meet a diamond in the rough. Don't give up on the first look."
It's true. And that's the thing. Here's where I have to fix this as well. And this is why I say, you know, it's not necessarily about having the most handsome face. Because I've dated people who don't have the most handsome face.
I cute.
But it goes back to the qualities that I mentioned. They had great intellect. They made me laugh. They understood my jokes. They had a lot of things in common. Like, I love music. And if we can sit there and talk about music, how we can take music to another level. Like, my track record, I've dated a lot of producers, artists. I can't say artists, but, you know, people in the industry. Because for me, it's a comfort level. If I'm going out, I don't want to hear, well, what you doing there? What, you know what I'm saying? I want somebody who understands why I'm going out, where I'm going, and they understand my boundaries.
I feel like you're trying to talk.
Oh, shut up. I don't step, when it comes to relationships, I am very faithful until I feel like my back is against the wall and I feel like you've played me enough. I'm going to be honest. If I feel like you've played me enough, or if I find out you cheated on me, you're gonna get back what you gave to me tenfold. I'm that kind of a person. Like if I'm not gonna lie, I'm very petty like that. Like if you make me cry, I'm not gonna stop until I make you cry, even cry worse. Like you have to bawl worse than me. And once you reach to that level, we good to go. I don't like to get to that level. To me, if it gets to that level, then it's no point in being in a relationship.
Akil, Roxanne say you must have a little something, dimples, a little hazel eye something. Where are they for Roxanne?
I could get his eyes.
So that is my long, lengthy list, and that's not even the full list, but that's just a gist of the carbon copy of what I look for in a significant other.
You sound like you like your ox mode, boy.
This
sound like your ox mode.
Oh yeah, hold on. Let me just get real critical here. Zodiac signs. I do look into those things.
Yes, that is important.
I am big on zodiac signs, and I'm big on also spiritualism. Like I'm a spiritual person.
You know what money look like?
Yes, I am.
Oh my God.
If you're not into them kind of things, then we can't have a conversation either. I'm a very spiritual person, and I don't like people intertwining with, like, if I say I'm gonna go and do a moonlight ceremony, I don't want nobody interfering with that. There's no such thing. I'm just giving an example. There's no such thing. No such thing. I'm just curious. Like I don't want anybody interfering with my spiritual path and how I'm growing. Like if you're doing your spiritual thing, if anything, I would want you to join me. But if you can't join me, that's respectful. But respect my wishes and respect when I'm going. Because I'm a person, like I said, I'm a spiritual person, and for us, ceremonies last from, let's say, 6 in the morning to probably 6 p.m. sometimes.
Shit, you might
if I'm out and I say I'm out doing something, do not accuse me of being out with the next one. That's where me and you you'll see a different kind of person.
So that is no vice from 6 to 7.
No vice within the week.
I remember.
What? That's what I said.
I go book a vacation. I go there for a week of a vacation. Nobody tells me.
No, I look like this, right? I think for strong women, and I think me and Shandy share this, and we constantly are like talking about stuff like this. I think for strong women, sometimes it's hard to find a man that
meets up,
that will meet you and allow you to walk with them versus trying to hold you and suffocate you or control you or constrain you, and then you wind up bucking that. You wind up like feeling like you have to break free from that when somebody is trying to, like, you know, overpower you. So it can be challenging.
I can tell you that the list don't work. Take it from me.
She
So
took
they
from
list
this old lady.
Yeah, they list the
So which meaning she experienced so much in the business.
Yeah,
so
well,
she
no,
knows what she's
listen,
talking
each his
about.
own, and each generation is different. Maybe it didn't work for her, but it might work for us. It depends.
You know what I say? My best friend always says, life is situational. Every single person is different. We two red women, we two different women
But
with
this era
different
different
experience.
though. This era,
with
it's
different
a relationship starting over WhatsApp.
But it's not.
He's absolutely right.
I mean, it's not relationships though.
I make it
That's
picture
situationships.
No, but some people, no, some people, no, some people actually work though.
And then when you really meet the person and decide to spend time with the person, you realize, oh wait now, me and this person nothing in common.
Nothing, yeah, click it.
Internet relationship.
Yeah.
Through Facebook and through WhatsApp.
But in some cases, those work though. For some people, it work because there's some people who meet their significant other online and it works.
There's online.
You know what I'm saying? It depends.
You see them kind of thing.
Yeah, I met my girl on Facebook.
Oh, no,
my current girl, we're doing well. She have a lot of things, but this is the thing that hurt me the most. I say, babe, you know, where you look for in a man? She said, I don't look for nothing in a man. I say, boy, that's how I get through this. Boy, Jesus Christ.
I got texting from Trinidad to a relationship. The border closed. The border is closed. You don't know when the next plane flying. But you come to text me to talk about you want a relationship. You see that these people mad. There are mad people in this world. There's even my friend, I'm telling you.
But she just want a few dollars.
Why she can't get on an intellectual level?
If I man get head, come on, she don't never know about things. But I am giving fella. Come on straight. But don't check on my guy now. Oh, it's long time they're watching me now, boy. Wait till no plane can fly. So what have you with me now? I don't understand what's going on in this relationship, social media relationships. Honestly, away from me.
So we captured everybody.
Yeah, did he say it hasn't worked for my kids? They ended up with folks that didn't match their list. You guys, we are in the middle of Watch Trouble.
Get in the conversation. It's time for Watch Trouble. Watch Trouble.
Talk.
I see what producer was signaling me for a second. I wasn't too sure what he was doing. Yeah.
Oh.
No, we were jumping into the second topic. I see my producer was like, hey.
I'm like, what happened?
All right, so moving on, Shandy. And NIKKI.
So before we move on to the next topic, I just want to close it off on this one. To each his own. Some people will respect the fact that you have your list. Some lists are effective. Some lists aren't. Something my grandmother used to always tell me. She said you can't be too picky because after a while you end up picking shit, which is true. So you have to be flexible. If you have a list, you have to be flexible. Some cases you just have to go with the flow. And even if you go with the flow, it's 50-50.
And even if the man, they got a little bit small, you know, work with the man.
Work with it.
Teach
work
him.
with it.
Okay,
you gotta
Gigi?
teach it. You gotta teach
I
it.
said, as long as it's workable.
Roxanne said my husband was my boss. 23 years later, I was, she was cooking and cleaning for him.
Well, there you go.
I did real hot office sexy, but Roxanne, he's a kind of. All right, moving on to the Naughty Watch Trouble, ladies.
All right, so the next topic is, can you love two people at the same time?
I know I can.
You can love one and be in love with one.
But my girl she go have
good. Talk. Explain.
Elaborate.
Yes.
That one that you can see yourself in love with one, being that you can see yourself spend the rest of your life with them, wherever you know, and then you could just love someone because they feel like, all right, I would be like, you know, everything I call for, they have same way, vice versa. You know, just like a close friend then. You know, I love you like a close. It doesn't have to be relationship wise. We have to be jamming.
No, in this case, we're talking about people you jam in. Like, can you love one and be?
Can you love your wife and your side piece, basically?
Yeah, you can love your wife and your side piece.
Who are you in love with, though?
You're in love with your wife.
You're in love with your wife?
Really?
So if you're in love with your wife, why do you have the side piece?
Exactly.
Because your side piece is just listen to all your cries sometimes, and you know what I'm saying? Take you out of that when you're in that space at that time.
But I want to piggyback off what Akil said. I wanted to piggyback off of what Akil said. Last week, Akil said that, you know, the side woman listens to him more.
Exactly.
So why would you love your wife more than the side piece? If the side piece is giving you more attention and
but the side piece might be listening to you and whatever the case and listening to your problems, whatever the case, but the side piece mightn't be as ambitious or someone you can see yourself really moving on with As you know what I'm saying? Like if you deal with your wife.
Did he wait that one us? Wait that one, Jeff?
But also here's the thing too, right? Just because a side piece is listening to you doesn't mean that that side piece is genuinely invested into you and your future. They could be just a yes person. Like, yes, I have to deal with you for 2-3 days a week. I'm gonna come here. Oh, sure, I'm happy to hear whatever you have to say. We do what we ever gotta do. Maybe you taking me out or whatever the case. Of course, I'm gonna be happy to see you and happy to hear whatever nonsense you have to say.
From experience,
I'm just listen, I always say, listen, side pieces are best situation, okay? Because you get the best of, most of the time, you get the best of that man, you know, for those moments. You're not dealing with his attitude, you're not dealing with none of his problems, whatever the case may be. You're just dealing with the good parts that somebody brings to you.
You're getting stressed at home, so you decide woman getting the best of the sex because when you come from home with your stress.
It's all of that stuff. So you don't have to deal with that.
And you bust that door here and decide woman don't know what time it is.
Listen to me.
This is African dance in the casket. Before she goes, she doesn't see them since African dance in the casket. Because she knows. You're stressed. Come to my friend, they're mad. My friend, all right, if you might ask a man, you do something now. You call Shelly, and she'll be like, what do you call Shelly? What are you doing? I come over now. She don't know.
Nikki, is it possible to love two people at the same time?
I think the love that you have for two people is different. The level. You're probably in love with, let's say, hypothetical, your husband, and then you just love the side piece, you know, but not the same. It's not going to be the same.
But I just want to say, for me personally, shout out to DJ Fresco. Fresco says you can be in love with two people at the same time. And he agrees with what you said with the whole casket, bang, bang, bang. It's time to do what you got to do. I would just say, for me, I've always said how you quantify it is if you're in love with somebody, you're not seeing, you have tunnel vision. You don't study nobody else. So for me, at that point in time, when you're in love with somebody, you're not studying nobody else. There is no side piece. There is no... That person you're with is your main and is your say all and be all.
Everything.
It's when the nitty gritty, when it gets to a certain level, then it's like you fall out of that in love phase. And you know, you often want to quantify how long does the in love phase last.
But is it in love or infatuation?
Nah, man. No. In fact, you could tell the difference between in love and infatuation. Infatuation is like, yo,
butterfly
music and the butterflies and all of that. In love is like, yo, you can't
do without the person.
You can't do without the person. Everything both of you do together and you work together and it flourishes. It's like it just meshes well and it flows perfectly.
I see why you just want payback. I see why you just want payback.
I feel like what she said makes so much sense because I was actually going to argue the point that I don't think that you could be in love with your wife at the time while you're stepping out. I think that there's different types of love. And so I think there's people in your life who you feel a certain sense of loyalty to, who you feel a sense of obligation to, who you feel a sense of, I've been with this person for a long time. I have kids with this person. I cherish them for XYZ reason, whatever the case. That doesn't mean that you're in love with them. And I think people don't realize and don't take the time to really keep that in their mind, that relationships take constant work. And you have to work to continue to be in love, both parties, in love with your partner. Because it's easy to get comfortable, it's easy to get complacent, it's easy to get on each other's nerves, all kind of things. And so it is, and people change, people grow at different rates, all kind of things. So I think it takes a certain level of work to remain in love with your partner long term. So with that being said, so with that being said, you know what I'm saying? I think people have a different love for their wife, or their husband, or whatever. But like Shandy said, when you're in love with a person, when you're having those deep feelings, you're not seeing nobody else. You're not looking at nobody else. Nobody can even penetrate. It's almost like a little bubble comes around you and you don't even see nobody. And if somebody comes at you, you would not, it's like a defense. It's like that person is not even able to penetrate. It's only when you start falling out of love and when you start being something is happening in a relationship.
That's when Joe Grinders started
That's
point.
when
That's when
all of a sudden, you know.
Diddy was saying I was reminiscing last night with my side piece from 46 years ago. My main boyfriend came at two of us with a knife. And then since then I haven't had a side piece. That's dangerous business. Cindy's saying there are different types of love and different feelings towards them. True, people are different when you are dating and different when you're living with them.
Oh my God, Mindy said Gigi for president.
Oh,
I'm here for it.
Don't chin up here, please. Chin up.
Let me interject off
yeah.
So I have two takes on that about the love. And that shield, when you get
the bubble, yeah.
So I call that shield the shield of passion.
The shield of passion.
You could love somebody and not have passion. Passion is when you love someone and you want them to be better. You want to make them happy.
You want to see them do
bring
good.
them flowers.
Yeah.
That's passion because you're invested in making that other person happy. So that's that thing. Sometimes when the passion goes away, it doesn't mean that you don't love that person.
Just the passion is gone.
The passion is
I like that. Are you still in love, or is it more like a family?
No, you're still in love because I still feel the same things. I'll still take a bullet for that person.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
So you're still deeply in love with that passion. Passion.
That's a great point.
So
and there are terms. Listen, and there are terms. No, listen. There's points in relationships where.
I'm not killing the passion. Passion may die.
Yeah, somebody may get sick, somebody may lose a job, things happen and you get stressed.
Somewhere along the line, sometimes the passion dies. Passion is something that could be ignited again.
Yes, it can. It can.
Rekindled.
Yes.
If the love is there, yeah.
Once the love is there.
Okay.
Old fire sticks.
Shield of passion could end up being a crime of passion.
He not done.
The second piece is sometimes we assume that in the world there is one person that will fulfill all your needs. That's where it gets.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah, that's true.
Career for president, Mindy.
Yeah. I'm for it.
Yeah, boy. No. Roxanne is saying I had an open relationship, but the others didn't follow the rules. So bye, Felicia.
That's always the problem, the rules.
Yeah.
When we follow it, always be a problem.
Look at you.
Look like we fans
so
like
can
this
you
topic
love
here.
two people at the same time?
My girl on the live, I refuse to answer that question.
So that's the did he struggle?
No, Mindy.
Oh, so that's why she said, oh, still, that is topic. But also Mindy said she tried something from the time the topic start. From the time the topic start, Mindy was struck, then she was there, so she just can't talk in the
No,
topic.
but I will keep it 100, you know. I not even sugarcoating anything. Like, once I deal with somebody, I dealing with that person. And whether the passion is there or not, I remind myself of the love that's there and the goals that we're working towards. So I find in this situation, if you have goals to work towards, it kind of distracts you from anything on the outside. So you doesn't necessarily have to love two people. But to answer the question at hand, I believe you could love two people, and you could love two people deeply, dearly. You could love two people with the same passion. You know?
I understand what she got saying,
both
but I
could make
can't
you
take his
feel.
word.
But do you think it's the same type of passion or just the same level of passion?
I think it's the same level of passion.
Yeah, because I don't think I really personally don't think you
everybody
can
else
love
is
two people
different.
the same
People
way
are
at
the
the
same.
same
See, so this is where we have to step in and say men are from Mars, women from Venus.
Let me
Because
ask a
as a
question,
woman, we would say we always quantify it as you're in love with one person and you love the next person.
Yeah.
There's no way in hell you can
There's
be in love with
never.
two people at the
There's
same time.
never.
That's how we see it.
Are you answering for you? Or are you answering because your wife is on the live, sir?
I answering the truth, the honest truth.
All right, because I know if
He
I
doesn't
can't
always
be
say that.
because I see threats.
So do you feel like you can be in love with two people at the same time, or you can be in love with one and love the next?
In love with one and love the next.
Okay, you see, so that now it's not.
I believe you could be in love with two in them. Yeah.
No.
I believe you could be in love.
with two people at the
Yeah,
same
you could be
time?
in love with two
So
and like
if you're in love with two
and
people at the same time, how do you balance that?
But it's a Haitian virgin, I know. The man in love with the two woman them. The man buy house, car, goals for the two woman them. He had
So he's not I don't mind that then. I don't mind that then.
The man controlling the both households, but he really loved it, and he would die for both of them. You understand? I'm telling you, it I love it.
But you can't count that because Haitian, no disrespect. Haitian people are known to have 2 different families.
Trini people too?
Well, Trini people can't manage it. Some of them can't manage it. Some of them, maybe I had the wrong Trini.
You met my father?
I had the wrong
My father
Trini
had 2
then.
whole families separated. I meet me and my brother was hanging out. I kid you not, Nigel Scott. My name is Rondell Scott. Me and my brother used to hang out every day by the Dial in Arima. Every single day by the Dial in Arima. We drinking, we smoking, we hanging out. Real best buddies. We don't know where the brethren love come from, but we just know we click.
Oh,
and
shit.
we hanging out every day. And it's a day, I remember I had a strap home. I wanted to show him now. I said, come on by me, let me show you the strap and things. So we go on home to play with the strap. Well, everybody know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Right? So we go on home there now, and my mother said, Nigel, and hug him up. So I looking at my mother now. My mother,
oh my God.
My father have a whole family on the outside. But the thing about it, my mom knew about it. You understand? So I come and meet my brother when I was like probably, I
So
think
why
I was
didn't tell you
12.
that? Why didn't they tell you that?
Because you all side on he don't, it's not a conversation for the kids mainly, I guess, the mom.
Because your mother knew about it and she was cool about it.
I
it
feel
seems.
like enough times it get mixy and people just tell me if I'm wrong. I feel like enough times all of a sudden you're 18, 19, 20 years old and somebody just pop on you. Oh, by the way, you have some brothers and
like,
sisters
I don't
here.
like that, but that's a different topic. We're gonna raise that topic another time. Because I don't like that.
What you say,
it's the
Kurt?
same thing.
My dad had 13 kids. And in Grenada is a small place.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I knew all my brothers and sisters growing up.
So let me ask you a question now. Let me say, if I have outside, our next family next side.
But I said out to say he loved both of
I
families.
want to ask that question because this is a weird scene.
Yeah.
You meet this girl, or they start to talk, click, or everything going nice, or they start a relationship.
But that happened to Auntie June and Uncle Errol.
And then all this they're having sex with their kids, and then all they get to find out all
But
these
that
brothers and
happened to
sisters.
Auntie June and Uncle Errol. I can get taboo stories. I can get real taboo stories.
No, my grandma used to tell us stories like that.
I have taboo stories. My grandfather, rest in peace to his soul, he's the same way like my father. That's where my father learned it from. So now, my father had a daughter in Grenada, Auntie June, and Uncle Errol was born in Trinidad. Uncle Errol take a trip to Grenada, see this nice big butter woman, love the woman, start to beat out the woman. You understand?
Shucks.
Bring back the woman home to Trinidad. Grandfather holy head and ball.
So that why you mix up, so you come from a family?
My grandfather was a sailor,
You come from a mix up family.
My grandmother, he meet her she's Venezuelan born who lived in St. Vincent, right? So my grandfather meet her in St. Vincent. I mix up all over. My grandfather's a sailor. I real thing all over the place.
Good morning, Mindy.
But I mean, at the topic of Cindy saying my husband and I dated since 2018, living home for a year, and recently tied a knot. And everywhere I go with him, he will introduce me as his wife. If anyone approaches me, I was okay. He was serious. Roxanne say, "Yep, this topic hit. Thought he would have broke us up. Never mind. Once again, it's over."
Roxanne like sharing stories, but
Actually, this happened to me in 2015. I dated someone in Trinidad and NYC. It was hard. Cindy saying that. Shit.
Hard out, but she did something in Trinidad. Hard. That's supposed to be very easy.
I guess she dated. I guess she dated somebody in Trinidad and NYC. I guess she was talking about the borders open and all of that stuff. Sheesh.
So it's okay. How much time we have left? Because I wanna know.
We got 16 minutes.
Okay, good. So we can have fun here still.
Yeah.
Yeah, you like yourself, man. Go ahead and say
Nikki, we want to hear your point of view.
I was just about to say, it seems like it's a common thing in the Caribbean because I didn't remember back then. It's just meeting my brother after let's say 20 years, we found out that we used to play with each other when we were younger, but it's just that I didn't know it was my brother. Play at my grandma's house. And then when we got here 20 years later, he's like, yeah, I used to go by grandma. I used to, mom used to pick me up. I'm like, okay, mom used to pick me up the same time. I didn't know it was you I was playing with, so, piggybacking off of what Shandy said is it depends on the family and how that family communicates, because my dad would always come over and I'll always go to his house and be with the family, But if the wives couldn't get along, then the wives wouldn't be around. It would just be the father and the kids, So it all depends on the family.
But did you think he loved them both?
Yes,
in
because
love
this
with
man
Bun.
would call me and talk a lot about my mom and say how they met and stuff. But the only thing is, he mentioned that they were on a break. You know, he was on a break from his relationship or whatever the case is, and then they had me, and he had his family after that and stuff like that. Not to get into the whole history of it.
But that's where I draw the line.
He did love my mom, and he did love his wife all the same.
Yeah, I believe you could really be in love with two people at the same time.
You can't love
like,
me if you have a
deeply in
side
love.
picnic. You can't love me
but
never
the only
again.
thing is, just to interject what
need God,
Sugar said, is like he had his family, right? He met my mom when they were on a break, so that's before they even had kids or whatever. Oh no, they had kids already, but he met my mom on a break. So when they got back, he already had his family and his house and doing everything that they do. So the love for my mom was totally different from the love from his wife. You know what I mean?
So they pretty much, but would you still say as he was in love with both of them, or just he loved both of them? Because I think the question is, can you be in love with two people at the same time? Just based on your experience, what do you think?
You could be in love with two people, but you see, what I'm trying to say is, he didn't love my mom at the same time while loving his wife, because the relationship wasn't there together. It was one period in time and then another period in time.
Alma Boy is in the chat room. Good morning, Alma Boy. He's saying you can definitely be in love with two people at the same time and love just as hard. And I totally agree. I agree.
Do you feel like it's different for men and women? I don't feel like
it is different. It is.
I think it is.
It is. I'll be honest. As a woman, I cannot manage being in love with two people at the same time. It's too hard for me. It's too hard.
It's too all-encompassing when you love one man.
Because you know why? Because as a woman, we do things differently. We are emotional creatures. Number one. Number two, we are very affectionate people. We tend to give a lot too. We nourish. So I can nourish a lot. But at the same time, I cannot. Let's just say two of you. If I'm with the two of you, and both of you are my.
I go in, by the way.
Let's just say, you know what I'm saying, and I'm in love with both of you at the same time, and let's just say both of you are having a crisis at the same exact time.
Wow. Yeah.
As a woman, you feel compelled, and your loyalty, your duty is to be there for your man. And if you cannot be there at the same time, it's like, yo, I shun myself and I gotta be by myself.
That's a good point.
You know what I'm saying? So that. I don't know how men do it, but I could say for me personally, I cannot manage being in love with two people at the same time. I'm not saying emotions don't happen, but there comes a time where I'll just pull back and be like, yo, I can't do this anymore. I have to make a choice. I can't do this anymore. You know what I'm saying?
But don't you feel like that's a great point that she just said?
That's an excellent point.
Because think about you in love with two different people, really? There's a gunshot. You can only save one. Which one you in love with? You're gonna pick
kill
one.
Me. No, kill me.
Yeah, that's an easy fix.
Yeah, let the two of them live and go and find two new man. Yeah.
Well, you mad.
I'm just saying, maybe it's not a gun, but you understand?
Yeah, no,
if you had to make a choice,
yeah.
there's always a choice, and you always gonna make a choice. So you always, in one way or another, are gonna have more love for one than the other. It's gonna be something.
No way could love you.
You have two kids. One is about to be shot. Save one.
But that's your kids.
That's
If
that's
you're
the
different
difference.
But what I'm saying is those are kids. There's not a decision to be made there.
So you can say shoot me in that situation.
Love is love.
Yeah.
It's true. Love is love. That's hard. So in a situation that I just raised,
Well, you can say shoot
how would you
yourself.
deal with that? How would you quantify that, or how would you explain that?
Well, with your two kids?
I think I got to turn off my phone, Neil.
You understand?
They sort that out for
And
themselves,
then,
yeah?
But you see, but then that come like you're messed up, like you regress and you stay by yourself, and it's kind of like you're not there for your significant other. But if the two people don't know, number one, if the two people don't know that they're in a situation with you, then it hurts because it's just like I needed you and you weren't there. However, if the two people know that they're there, like if side piece know that wifey is there, and both of them are going through, then there comes that level of understanding. Yeah. So we're dealing with two different dynamics. in this case, when I'm saying being in love with two people at the same time, it's like maybe they don't know about each other.
So your side piece understanding?
Excuse me?
Your side piece,
Your side piece should be understanding.
If I have a side piece,
you gotta know your role.
I don't have a side piece.
Oh, okay.
Cindy said you got to choose.
You have
and
to choose.
Susan said too much stress loving two people at the same time.
It is. And I mean, and this is where I say if you're loving two people at the same time and they don't know, if they know about each other, it's a lot easier because you could quantify time. You could say, all right, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But if you're hiding, it becomes expensive, it becomes annoying, it becomes a nuisance. And after a while, you start to hate somebody.
I have a question to ask. A woman would be satisfied being like a side piece, like knowing she's the other one.
Yes.
Yes.
If you come on and say, hey, I'm going to date both of you, then it becomes a problem.
They want to be the one that make a decision?
No, I think most men can't sustain two women. And so one person is always getting the shorter end of the stick. And I think that's what it becomes.
I differ. I beg to differ. I think most boys can't manage two women. I think a man
could manage two women
because a man is more
can
established.
I be a man in our relationship?
Listen, there is some man that is so like smooth with it. There's men that could absolutely come and say, yo, this is what I want and I'm going to be with whatever, but I'm going to deal with you and whatever. And women would deal with it. Is that most men is not
But do you think,
enough to
do you think
that.
it's those women who actually need something that actually takes that kind of...
Which one? The role of a side woman?
Yeah, the needy ones.
No, it's not needy women. There's some women who, okay, you could speak after. We already know. We already know. You know, so from my experience, because I've stated before, I've been a side piece before. The stipulation was at the time that the person wanted to be with me, I wasn't interested in him. And after a while of hanging out with him for that entire summer, I was just like, you know what? I was wrong. Like, I really want to be with you. And he was just like, you missed the point when I said I have a girlfriend now. And I'm just like, okay, well, you can end it with her. And he was supposed to end it with her, and he never did. And I was just like, you know what? I'll be a side woman.
Well, yeah, because...
And in my mind, I was thinking if I loved him, I was young. In my mind, I said if I loved him enough, did everything that he needed, he would leave her to be with me and choose me. And it never went down like that.
Yeah. You're coming as a side piece.
That's why in that time I was willing to commit to being his side woman. And that relationship lasted about 5-6 years.
Wow.
That's the thing about it. Once you committed, it will last long.
It would last long because I had a genuine understanding and I knew my place. There's some side women in 2020 don't know their place.
Because
side women, I knew my place. I knew when she was around. Yeah, it was sports.
If you come on this team here as a substitute, you understand? Don't think it is going to start just so it's a substitute.
Yeah,
once you start
and you
getting
know your
attitude
role.
because it's a substitute.
You know your role.
You will be, yeah, of course.
But being a side piece, it takes a lot because if you become emotionally invested in it, it takes a toll on you because it's just like you're not going to get Christmas dinner, you're not going to get Thanksgiving, you're not going to get Valentine's Day, you're going to get the day after or the day before. You're going to ring it in with that person. And then after a certain time, as a certain age, I was young, like I said, I wanted a family. I'm not going to be sitting here waiting for you to decide, okay, you want to be with her, you want to be with me. Like, I want kids, I want a husband, I want to take pictures and be like, this is my man. Never mind the fact we were taking pictures and some people knew we were together. Some people just said we were friends. You understand what I'm saying? But the point of the matter is this, at the end of the day, I couldn't say openly, this is my boyfriend or this is my significant other. And if you're in a side situation like that, you have to accept the fact that these are the roles, the rules and responsibilities. And each relationship has its own parameters and its own level of respect. And if you can't respect the boundaries within that, then you're not cut out to be a side person. And I'm at the point where I cannot be a side person because I've outgrown that. Like, I want main or nothing at all. Greedy. Just keep me. I'm greedy. I'm a pack woman.
As far as the topic of making a choice, I'm always saying I might make the choice out of certain principles, not love.
So, would you be the main woman if you know there is a side that existed?
Wow.
Okay, I'm glad you asked that question. Okay.
I don't know if you guys in the chat heard what Kareem asked. He asked, would you be the main woman knowing that there was a side piece that existed?
It depends. So, here are the stipulations. As I stated before.
Stipulations, yes.
My stipulations are, let me tell you something. I was married before.
Mm-hmm.
My husband had his side woman. And, you know, I realized this heifer was giving me a run for my money. And this man was not letting go. And I was at the point where I'm tired of stabbing you. I'm tired of shooting after you. I'm tired of running you over my car. So it's either we come to a resolution where you have your side woman and I'll be there as your wife, but she has to give me my respect. She has to know her place. And that's where the problem lied, because she was under the impression that as his side woman, she's wife too. So she could call any hour of the night. She could disrespect me at any given point in time.
Because it's what he's telling her.
It's what he's telling her. And that's why I said the stipulations have to be there.
So you out here shooting at people?
You hush your mouth. We going with a story. We going with a story. Just roll with the story. My thing is this: if you're gonna be in a situation like that, if you're willing to accept your husband having a side woman, there has to be a level of respect. She has to know her place. I mean, they do it in the Caribbean all the time, where I've known plenty of elders who have their wife and they have the whole side family on the side, and the wife know about the side woman, but it's a level of respect. They will see each other in the road, and it's good day, ma'am. How you doing? Do you need it? Knowing she's sucking her husband dick later on in the evening, but it's still that level of respect. Like, yo, I could say that on air, right?
Yeah, I think so.
But you see, it's a
level of respect. Let's say if you allow it, she will do it.
I just feel like don't.
Shut up.
Jeez.
I
just
just
feel
feel
like
like
don't do
said,
that.
why settle though? That's another question.
Why settle?
Why settle?
Why settle the side piece?
Why
settle the wife?
So now you didn't answer the question
All
with
right,
side piece.
boom.
Go ahead.
I don't think it's about settling. I think it's about, again, what are you looking for out of this situation? I think there's a lot of women that are, no shade to Shandy, but are deluding themselves in relationships too, into thinking that, like, if I just do this, if I just sex him more, if I just one up his wife, he's gonna leave her for me. And I think that that's foolish. And if you're doing that, that's foolish. I think, again, for me, I don't like people. Sometimes I don't want to see you. I could love you. I don't want to see you every friggin' day. I don't want you up under me every single day. Sometimes I want to have sex and cuddle for 5 minutes, and I want you to come up my bed. I want to have my whole bed to my damn self. I'm that person. I'm a person. When I come home, I want time to myself. So, there's times where, listen, for me, I know it's going to take a right type. I might have an Oprah Stedman relationship, like on some real stuff, because I don't know that I honestly, at this point in my life, and that may change and whatever the case, I don't know that I want to live with a man right now.
You need to
I
live
don't
with
know.
God.
Listen, I want to, I just like my space or whatever, right? So I think that there was a season that I went through, I would say, where I was living on my own. I didn't have a man or whatever, and I just had my own man, and it's just, I call you over to service me, do whatever I need, whatever. You come, and you know what? You can be a little bratty when you decide, babes, but I really want to see you. Oh, bring me some food now, whatever the case may be. And you get in the cutesy parts of this man. He's happy to see you. He's excited. You're making him excited. Listen to me. I used to send this man back to his wife so happy. I used to be like, babe, you can't talk to she like that now. That's not nice. And send him back happy to go apologize to his damn wife after sucking his cock. You understand me?
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Okay, so it depends on what you want out of the relationship. And if that man is dealing with you good and providing you what you need out of it, then there's nothing to feel a way about. It's when you start catching feelings and things like that, when that goes left, right? Now, when it comes to being in being the main woman, knowing that there's a side woman situation, I look at it like this. I'm territorial like a bitch. Like a dog. You hear me? Like a bitch. I'm territorial. I'm not jealous. I'm territorial. You is mine. I could hate you today. You still fucking mine. You understand me? You know what I'm saying? So I feel like this. Sorry. So I feel like you would have to be doing everything that you need to do. Number one. I don't want to see $1 missing from somewhere for no side piece. Okay?
So
I don't want to see.
Checking the money?
I'm not checking the money, but as long as the money that's always been there does not start to go less, I don't business.
So she has to put money in the pot.
I can turn a blind eye. No, but what I'm saying is this. If you was always doing X for me, that X cannot change because of Y now.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So that's my thing.
I see your point.
Getting comfortable is what is that
so my
sometimes.
thing is, if you are finding the time to make for this woman, it's not hurting my pockets or my household, and that chick is not brightening herself to feel like she can come step to me, don't bring that chick in no restaurant I coming in. Don't bring no chick in no fed where my peoples is gonna be at. You have to know your place. That chick have to know her place, and you have to know to do your dirt the right way.
Respectfully.
Here's what I'm hearing. And I think
if you just want to go and break off for a minute and get a nut, you know.
Women are looking at this as a competition.
Exactly.
And I think y'all should start looking at it as a collaboration. Stop competing with
Exactly.
each other.
But isn't it supposed to
But
be
that's
like
what
a
I'm
level
saying.
of respect? It's
For me,
saying
it's not a competition. I'm
not
just
a competition.
saying
It is a
I have a
collaboration.
certain level of expectations that you have already set. As long as you are not diverting from that expectation that you have set, as a matter of fact, I'm not gonna lie, depending on the situation and we've been a while together for a while, I might be happy that she done took you on a Thursday and got you at my house.
It's just that level of respect. Just give me that understanding, that level of
Just
respect.
make
and
sure
we good
she
to go.
knows that that's her role.
Yeah, that's it.
To suck you off and send you home. You know what I mean? Or whatever it is.
So you okay with that?
I do have a problem with the blurred lines of emotional relationships, and when it becomes more, I think there's a difference between just stepping off and having a little side situation. Sometimes people wind up having two whole relationships.
But then that's the whole purpose of being a side in certain cases, that you end up having that relationship
But
because
that's what I'm
you're
saying.
coming
For
there
example,
for comfort.
when I was a side woman, me and him is not going out to dinner on the regular. Me and him is not going.
So you're
there's
saying basically he's forgetting home.
There's certain relationship things that
you
I'm
do.
not getting as
Yeah.
a side woman because I'm the side woman, and that's how it should be.
So I just have Fluffy Kitty here who says, men settle to be side pieces as well.
Of course.
Times have changed.
I think men just be happy to get some sex.
So what is the moral of the story before we wrap up?
So the moral of the story here is, to each his own. I will always state this. You can be in love with two people at the same time. It's just a level of respect, responsibility, and understanding and communication within.
And passion.
And passion.
Yeah.
Kareem has
You
some
can't,
real good
and
points
it's true.
there.
You cannot, like, for me, and I always preach this, what you started in a relationship, continue throughout. Don't lose it. You know what I'm saying? Don't ever lose it. Just that you have the expectation of wifey to always look like the hourglass that you met. She also has the expectation that you always bring the flowers in on a bad day. And you slobber her off when necessary. And just she slobbers you off too. Is that asking for too much?
No.
Nikki.
Any closing remarks, Nikki?
Yeah, I would say, based on what Shandy and Gigi said, everything, you say respect, but everything is based on communication with the person, whether it be the side piece or the person that you're with. Without communication, then nothing is going to work, no matter who you have the relationship with. And knowing what you want is a key as well,
And sometimes what you want changes.
So what you want changes it, and that's where the communication comes in. You'd be telling the person what you want, what you expect, your expectations, the same way that you told us, what you like and what you don't like as you want in your space, or if you're the main woman, you want him to take care of the bills and so forth. So communication in anything is key.
So next week's topic I would like to bring up is the family structure. I had a couple people came to me and stated, they're having difficulties with, they're not together with their significant other, and it's a level of discomfort to know that the significant other has moved on with somebody else. They can accept that, but the fact remains is they want to see the person that significant other is with. So how do you the struggle of, the pushback, the struggle and the pushback within the co-parenting situationship?
Definitely. We're going to talk about that next week, guys. We'd like to thank Shandy and Nikki for always coming through Watch Trouble with some amazing topics. As usual, today was nothing short of amazing as well. You had a great moral, and I have the perfect song for the moment as well. We like, I don't know if Nikki's hanging around with us for Devil's Advocate after the entertainment news. We also have.
I'll look at you online.
Yes, okay, no problem. So we also have. When we come back after the break, we have. We're gonna have the entertainment news right after the break. Then we're gonna go right into the truth with AKIL, and then we're gonna do Devil's Advocate. I have the perfect song for right now.
Shorty said that she love me enough, she want to call me out and cuff it up. She don't know she love me so. She say her so set free when we squeeze it up. Mount a girl me have a hit a mad me, hey. Mount a girl me have a hit a mad me, hey. Mount a girl me have a hit a mad me, gosh. Mount a girl me have a hit a mad me. Me have one on me yard and one live abroad and the one in New York. So she come from Walton. Me just get a call from a girl at East London and all of them pretty like a rose in my gut. Hey, send for me, all of me girl them on me company, but Jaja only did make one of me. So how me I go give them now? All of me. Sorry for me, hey. Mount a girl me have a hit a mad me. You see, Mount a girl me have a hit a mad me, hey. Mount a girl me have a hit a mad me, but the one of them alone can get catch on me. Shorty said that she love me enough, she want to call me out and cuff it up.
She don't know she love me so. She say I'm so set free when we squeeze it up. She say one of them have me main squeeze. The other one with them we're still here, guys. So we're going in after the entertainment news. We're gonna do the true with AKIL and then we have Devil's Advocate. Second stage.
And the satellite dish. And the next one suck on like a parasite tick. And the next one send pics up or exercise tips. But the real one makes me not the island twist. And them kind of queen and not this spoiled with things. She love me.
Khaled, good morning. Khaled, I coming by you today.
With kings.
Alright, we coming today, Khaled. I'm gonna do some work for Khaled for like about weeks now.
Hey, Mount a girl me have a hit a mad me, but the one of them around can get catch on me. Shorty said that she love me enough, she want to call me out and cuff it up. She don't know she love me so. She say I so set free when we squeeze it up. Okay, I don't know, say this is Kes now, me the girl them best candy. So cool, how you find out one you my lord? My gosh. Okay, you don't want to know. Hey, send for me, call for me, over me, call for me. But the one of them alone can get Kes now, me. Gosh, over me, send for me. And the whole of them say them want Kes now, me. Send for me, over.
Trouble in the morning is spilling the tea.
It is time
for your entertainment news report.
Your entertainment news report.
Well, good afternoon, good morning, good day, everyone. This is Shandy, sweet and fluffy like pink cotton candy, and I'm here to give you the entertainment news. So we're going to start off. Wednesday, Digicel blessed our social media pages with their rendition of Verses called The Showdown. The two artists featured were soca queen Alison Hines and soca queen Patrice Roberts. The ladies dressed in pink in honor of the Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Oh, that's why.
Yes.
Okay.
The live concert and the live stream drew over 19,000 viewers, while YouTube registered 4,800 viewers. The ladies performed in 10 categories: breakthrough, bubble tunes, which is groovy and power, ladies anthem, and a host of many others. So what were your thoughts, guys, on that? Can I just, before you guys go in, I just want to say I was kind of like off with the fact that Alison Hines was singing like she was in a lounge. That's what was driving me nuts.
I think it's hard in a lot of these live shows for you to really get a vibes. Imagine that these people are used to performing live for a bunch of people and whatever the case, and you imagine like if I had to put in a concert right now in this room, it's like weird, you know what I mean? So I definitely, I've noticed that even in the verses, like I don't think it was like the vibes, the hype up was as there. I even saw like an Offset concert the other day, and I was like, this feels like are you just performing in your bathroom for your friends? Like what is that? You know, it's just so.
The big debate also that came up was the level. Alison Hines versus Patrice. It shouldn't have been at that level. It should have been, let's say, Alison Hines versus Saucy or Destra, or Patrice with Nyla. Well, I can't say Nyla. Patrice with Nadia or something to that effect. The level wasn't there. So it was just like the queen, one queen versus the next queen is two different relics, two different reigns. And I actually wrote a piece about that. So, check it out also. Yeah, go ahead. I don't know if you guys want to interject before I move on to the next story.
For me, I just didn't like Rome. Rome
he was
pissed me
really
off
corny.
all
Like
night.
it was not.
All night Rome pissed me off.
There's so much other people they could have put.
Well, for me, from jump, I said the lineup wasn't
Up to par.
from jump, I always say that. I mean, Alison Hines is classic. I ain't taking nothing from Patrice, but Alison.
You know what?
You know what I'm saying? We gotta get Jackie, we gotta get Jackie jacket. You know what I'm saying? Alison's a boss.
I give a shout out to Patrice because I think she recognized that, and she spoke about that, and she gave Allison her praises and whatever
She
the
sure
case,
did.
and was like, you know,
this inspired me.
you are
to
the
do that,
queen
yeah.
of soca. You have inspired me. I love all your music. It was, you know, definitely like a mutual respect there. So I think that was really nice.
Actually, Patrice is the princess. There's called Patrice.
Yeah, the
of soca,
princess, yeah.
something also.
But you know, a lot of
But
people
some
was
people
getting
still
hype
consider
up
her
themselves.
queen.
Yeah.
Some people still consider her queen of soca in this relic, in this time period. You know, nobody knows when the torches of these things really pass on to the next person. So I'm going to move on to the next thing. Actor Sean Connery, most famous for his James Bond roles, passed away yesterday at the age of 90.
I loved him.
Can I just say he's one of my favorite James Bonds
Loved him.
out there, and I really loved him for, you know, even in his old age, he was still dead sexy.
Can you not just hear his voice? Like you say and talk about him, and I can hear his very rich voice. Like, you know,
the accent for me.
he lived a long life. He was 90 years old, but it's still very sad. There's so much other people that like could have gone besides. I'm just saying. Like,
I enjoyed a lot of his movies.
Yeah.
Rest in peace to the actor.
So that's, I mean, he went out a nice way.
Yeah, he did. And he lived long too, so you know.
Exactly,
yeah, he
long.
did.
Definitely.
He was not well apparently, but he died peacefully in his sleep. So you know, thank God. That's the thing all we could ask for.
And moving on to the next story. At the 2020 BET Hip Hop Awards, Reggae Dancehall had a great spotlight shimmering on them with the Cypher segment. So some of the country's top reggae dancehall artists were featured in the Reggae Cypher for this year's virtual event. Cyphers have become a popular feature of the BET Awards, and while it usually showcases rappers freestyling on a beat, this year it included some of Jamaica's most musical standards and top artists. Shensia, Coffee, Skip Marley represented the new generation of artists, while Beanie Man and Bounty Killer held the flame for the legends. Snippets from the virtual event could be found on YouTube, so you guys can check that out. Moving along, now that we've just finished speaking about Beanie Man, I just want to mention that Beanie Man was captured on camera recently as he fainted at his mother's funeral.
Oh my God.
The dancehall artist was overcome with emotion as they lowered his mother's casket to the ground. There were several people, of course, took it and it went on social media. And, you know, he came to grips with it and he admitted, you know, this is a hard time period for him to accept the fact that his mother has gone. She died in September from a heart attack. And so, you know, our thoughts and prayers go out to him.
Yeah, condolences, man, to Beanie Man and his whole family.
Yeah.
So-
Also going through the healing process, not to cut you, sorry, was international dancehall artist Shensia, and she actually, in Loop TT, she mentions going through the process. She lost her mother in June as well. This year, so it's a grieving process, and she reaches out to people and let them know, you know, things take time. I don't know if you guys remember, she did a whole live where she was just crying and she came out, you know, my mom's gone, and her mom was her pillar, so you kind of felt it, felt the tears and all that stuff. You know, condolences and our heartfelt love for both artists as they go through this. And
I do
everybody
have a quick clip of the cipher here. We can probably drop in there before you finish with the entertainment news. And I didn't get to hear it at all, so you know, this is a
Me
good time.
neither.
So,
Did this happen already? Like the actual words?
Let's try it. Let's listen.
Well, this is Jamaica, representing for the 2020 BT Hip Hop Awards. And this is the Reggae Cypher with Beanie Man, Bounty Killer, Coffee, Skip Marley, Shensia, Dang diggy diggy dang 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 dang. Take it away, DJ Liquid, one of the baddest selector.
Baby, when the bright light starts to fade, fire up your lighter, float on with the waves. You make me feel light. Be eating me feel light.
Yeah, Shensia definitely went in there. So, hey, much love to Shensia. I know I see AKIL talking whole week about Shensia. I was just all of a sudden, I don't know any radio no more. Shensia.
I'm like, every Caribbean have a friend, no? Yeah, like, I agree from the Barbados side, you know? But she's sweet bad.
Yeah. All right, Chandy.
No, I was just gonna say before that's so tacky. Let people grieve in peace. Like, stop doing that. Stop looking for vibes and cloud and trying to make these videos for money and stuff like that. Like, that's you know, death is a very serious thing and people should have some respect.
What one video did he talk about?
Oh my God! We discussed that.
The
No, I don't think we ever...
with the masking.
Oh,
they have that whole thing. We discussed that part. Yeah, not to wear the mask. But then he's also...
if that's how you feel, that's how you feel.
So I'm going to touch it. I didn't mention it in here, but I'm going to touch on it. Buju had done a whole rant on social media about wearing masks and, condemning basically the Jamaican government and they're trying to suppress people and all that stuff. But then somebody also pointed out that he's also selling masks. So it's kind of contrary. It's totally contrary of what's going on. I would just say this much to people, COVID is still out there. COVID is a very serious thing. And, if your government is telling you to wear a mask, just wear it. Just wear it. Just wear it.
I mean, and his merchandise, I think what he's saying is, first of all, he's smart. He's still making his money. You know what I mean? But also, listen, if I don't want to wear a mask, I don't think you should do that. But if you wear your mask, then at least, hey, support Buju with your mask wearing.
No, but you see, the thing is, it's mandated by the government. So to me, it's like you're doing you're trying to cause an uprising. And if your government is saying to do it, just do it. You don't want to wear a mask and stay in your house.
I would imagine. But no, you know what? I would imagine this, and not to make excuses for Buju or anything like that. You have to remember that man did a 10-year bid. Mm-hmm. So this man came out of 10 years in prison thinking that he was going to be free, did this wonderful concert and all these things, and now you don't know what kind of, I'm not saying it's right what he's doing, but you don't know how this is triggering his mental health, how this is affecting him in a way. Do I think he should have publicly come out and done that? No, I don't think that's appropriate. But do I think that he's just like a jerk and was being selfish? I don't know. There may be more to it.
Right, let me ask a question. We here talking about Buju and vex about Buju, right? The people who still going party right now without masks and all that kind of thing, is not them doing the same thing. Only thing is them come out and say it like Buju come and say it.
Yeah.
But going party right now without the masks already going on.
Yeah.
What them doing different from Buju?
Exactly.
So come on.
And those same people going to fest without masks and talking shit about Buju. That's how it goes,
That's just the world we living in.
I was trying to find a clip here where he was talking, but no, something about Facebook and online is.
I mean, it's in our chat. I think we put the link up in there as well. So I'm just gonna end it off. I think for each week when we do the entertainment report, I'm gonna end off like top picks to listen to. So as you guys know, I'm affiliated with Julian's Promos. So I would suggest everybody subscribe to our pages. We made 1 million subscribers as of last week.
I feel Julian and Shandy baby father. I just had our best feeling.
No.
Oh, Lord.
I just want to shout out to everybody and I thank you guys for the support. I work hard for Julian's Promos.
I know
That's
you
my
do.
partnership.
I know you do.
We are partners. So I just want you guys to check out our pages and listen out. There's three songs I'm going to mention, but of course there's a whole slew of other songs. I just want to say shout out to artists who are still putting out music, especially now that we've let people know that we've reached 1 million subscribers and music is available. More artists have come back to us and say, I have a hit song I want to put out and I like it. What I also want to point out, what I've noticed is it's a lot more of a pop sound. You have more R&B pop music coming out. Soca artists have ventured out into that kind of field. So I just want to shout out to those artists who are actually stepping into a new comfort zone and trying new things. Really appreciate that.
So I just want to mention one thing really quickly. You see what I have in my hand here, Shandy?
Hey.
Hi.
Brand new laptop. So I need that music pack.
Oh God, you ain't getting music pack
no,
yet?
I ain't getting music
email
pack,
address before we leave. I'm sorry.
Man.
Every week this guy.
Yeah, I buy it on Amazon. I love my
it looks very, very sleek and sexy. I love it.
Decent.
So for this week, I want you guys to check out
It's refurbished.
It's refurbished, but it looks real fresh for refurbished. This week, I want you guys to check on Julian's Promos. There's Mason and Static. They came out with a song. Mason, who's the guy who sings In Your Panty, for some people who don't know.
That's Vinci, right?
Yes, he's from Vincent. Static is also Vincent.
You sing Panty, is it?
In Your Panty. You never heard?
Yeah.
No, I never heard.
I want to jam a nigga in
your
panty.
Do you want to jam anything in your panty?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
They came out with a song called Holiday. It was released a couple days ago. Little Bit, she did her video, Remember Me. It's I love it.
Little Bit still around with your fine self, boy.
Yeah, boy, you need to check her video. Check that video, Little Bit.
She have a song, she have a nice song, Nappy too, not so?
Yeah, she does.
Yeah.
Okay.
It came out this year, but she just released something, and her birthday was just yesterday. So shout out to Bits. Happy birthday, baby girl.
Bits been in the struggle.
She's real fashionista in this video, so check it out.
Okay.
And then there's Savannah featuring Hey Choppy, and that has real hits on it. The song is called Right Away. So check that out as well.
So all the songs that Shandy talks about in this, we look for it in the Burst on That segment next week, and we're gonna definitely drop that. So
definitely.
Yeah, keep a note of that.
Definitely. I just want to say this is the end of my entertainment report. My name is Shandy, sweet and fluffy like pink cotton candy. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Thank you very much, Shandy, for that entertainment report. This is Trouble in the Morning, and when we come back, we have The Truth with AKIL.
AKIL told him.
This is new. That's right. Trouble in the Morning has all your new music first.
Good production.
She want a gangali. She said she want a big bungalow. She said she would like to be free. She would like to be free. She want a gangali. She said she want a big bungalow. She said she would like to be free. She said she would like to be free.
Call me, yeah. The little man now the good. Better you somebody, yeah. Call me, yeah. Can I say the boy need it? Like can I say you're way too good, feel. Better you somebody, yeah. Call me, yeah. She want a real gangbale. She want a big bang belly. She want a big bang boy, yeah. Big bang boy, yeah. She want a big bang belly. She want a big bang boy, yeah. Big bang boy, yeah. Me just want you get in your element. Lewinsky and me be the president. Since you say you're free, come show me the evidence. Tight girls ever in a fashion. Always trending. Love a girl, fashion. Outstanding. Fling the jars away, car away. She have to come back tomorrow. Fling the jars away, car away. She run like a barrow. Fling the jars away, car away. Just play like a marrow. Fling the jars away, car away. She said she like to swallow. The little man now the good. Better you somebody, yeah. Call me, yeah. Can I say the boy need it? Like when I say you're way too good, feel. Better you tell you somebody, yeah. Call me, yeah. She said she want a big gangaloo. She said she want a big bang belly. She said she would like to be free. She said she would like to be free. She said she want a big gangaloo. She said she want a big bang belly. She said she would like to be free. She said she would like to be free. Hey girl, me come here so feel free, come here no come here so feel love. They get on a mission, me no come for sweet talk. No bag of chatting, come me no come for skyline. You me when me for your shine off. If I'm money, I feel when me fit tell me why car. She say I'm on a rubbish, she burn him like a dry grass. She say she don't want him, me forget the high grass. But I probably see him at the sky of purpose. Fling the jars away, jars away, jars away. She have to come back tomorrow. Fling the jars away, jars away, jars away. She run like a barrow. Fling the jars away, jars away, jars away. Just play like a marrow. Fling the jars away, jars away, jars away. She said she like to swallow. Call me, yeah. The little man now. Better you tell you somebody, yeah. Call me, yeah. Can I say the boy need it? Like can I say you're too good, feel. Better you somebody, yeah. Call me, yeah. She want a real gangale. She want a real gangale. Call me, yeah. Call me, yeah. She want a big bang belly. She want a big bambo, yeah. Call me, yeah. Call me, yeah.
She want a she said she want a big bang. She said she would like to. She would like to be free. She want a gangali. She said she want a big bang. She said she would like to. She said she would like to.
Good morning to you and yours. We are Trouble in the Morning. Good morning. The entire team is here, and it's now time for this.
You want answers? Grab your coffee and listen up.
Listen. I want the truth.
The truth.
You can't handle the truth.
With AKIL Mitchell is on.
Right, people. Well, my name is AKIL, tall and handsome. Make you disappear in the full handsome. And some white candy fluff. You understand? Morning to my brother DJ X-Rated on the live.
Morning.
Thanks for coming in. We miss you.
Yeah, Didi been missing X-Rated a lot.
My topic today is about voting. I'm very serious about it. We need to come out and vote. For all the Caribbean people who now reside in America, United States, and have become citizens, I would like you all to go out and exercise your rights and vote. I ain't coming to tell you who to vote for. All the big and all the sense. Go out and vote for the right thing. That's why I want to go out and vote. You see people who are voting and they have the things to vote, keep all their voices low when it comes to this politics here. And the ones who do have the thing who've been up here years and then put themselves in a proper gear to get the things, to exercise their rights, keep your voices low. You understand? Very low when it comes to this politics thing. It's getting very edgy now, boy, you know, kind of upset when I talk about it. Let me go out and do the right thing, people, because it's scary. It's scary. You've seen it. It's scary.
Tell them how you feel,
teach all
brother.
the children the right thing. Well, I remember, we come from the Caribbean, you know, and we have been trained out there who's now Americans, which is Yankee. So we whole culture going and die out just now. Yeah, so when we pass, we like to do it. That no more I from Trinidad and you from there. And that's the day. It's Americans. So we have to teach the children the right thing. You understand? Go them up the right way. As from now.
Roots, yeah.
As from now. Try to get back that kind of habit way is a village raising the children and them now. You understand what I'm saying? Because it's scary. And I think this election, whether whoever win, it's going to be very scary. And we have to prepare ourselves and make sure we and safeguard ourselves and we love ones and do it right. You understand? But we need to come out and vote, people. Get up in the morning, bright and early, because the lines them long. And make a couple of attempts to go and vote and thing, and otherwise I walk and thing. The lines them is ridiculous. So what I intend to do is to park up my car. Maybe the night before, like about 3-4 o'clock, and spend the night over in my car.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, so I'm saying, and then vote, because it is the right thing. We have to make our change, because boy, well, let's see what's going on with the orange peel. The orange peel different, you know. The orange peel different.
You can't even get vitamin C from the orange peel.
You still have time now, though. You can vote. You can still vote till 4 p.m. today in early voting. The last day.
The orange peel different, though. We need to go there. We need to go there and really do what we have to do and exercise your rights. And we ain't doing it for ourselves. Doing it for the future, for we children not coming behind. Yeah, so making sure everything is paved right for them. Like we do be selfish and just think about we self and we self and we voting for we. Yeah, so I'm teach we children what the reason why we making decision. Because a lot of children out here fighting for a cause and don't know what they're fighting for, you know. And we see it a lot of times with the protests and the Black Lives Matter. That people out there protesting and mashing up things and they really don't know why they're out there. You know? They're just out there because they've seen other people doing it.
Not even that. I also want to interject. I'm sorry, I don't even know if we're allowed to interject.
Go ahead.
But I just want to say this part, you know, even if you go back to the Caribbean, a lot of people are party aligned because of legacy.
Yeah, exactly.
It's passed down and they don't know that you're supposed to actually go outside and do your research.
Exactly. And we need to teach. Each one teach one. We have to. Susan saying she voted. Let's go, Susan. I hope you're encouraging other people to vote only too. Yeah, so we encourage people. Encourage. Tell them. Sugar, you went and vote yet?
I can't.
All right, well, make sure one vote tomorrow. Now, I just say,
no, I can't. Yeah.
There's an example, you know. Encourage them. Show them the right thing. I the man, that people who don't know how to go about it, show them, guide them, don't laugh at them. You have to go this way, you have to go that way, direct them. Don't laugh at nobody, no man is better than nobody.
Make the experience as comfortable as possible.
As comfortable as possible.
Important.
Yeah, stand for somebody.
People was online for those chicken sandwiches. It's important. It's important.
When Jordan dropped.
The weight.
You know what I'm saying?
You're absolutely right.
Exactly. So this is a reason why you need to go and line up there and wait.
But you also want to point out that, you know, whether the election goes right or left, you don't want to ensue violence at the end of the vote
and
as
exactly,
well.
that's what we don't want. That's one thing we don't want to see the violence. We don't want that at all. You see the hate, we don't want that. Whoever win. All we have to do is teach with children the right thing, and we know right. We make people. We know right from wrong. You know what I'm saying? We know right from wrong. Whoever win, we just go along with it and just continue doing the right thing. That is it.
I just want to point this out.
People that is going to do the wrong thing though.
And I also want to point this point out. Some people bring up the electoral college versus the popular vote, and that, you know, their vote doesn't count. At the end of the day, popular vote sometimes outweighs the electoral college. So that's why it's also important to still vote. Of course. If you're not aware of what's the difference, I suggest that you do your research.
Especially now when we have the potential to not have a decision on election day, and this decision may very well go to the Supreme Court, where things like the popular vote and how many people have voted will make a decision, will be a decision-making factor. So it's critical. Even in New York, I think all these years I've always heard like, oh, New York is a blue state. Go out and vote. You don't know who's not voting now because of coronavirus. You don't know who is in different circumstances. Also, I just read an article yesterday that said people that had already early voted who've passed away since, their vote gets thrown out. It doesn't count anymore. So there's a bunch of people who did vote whose vote will no longer matter. Maybe they got coronavirus and pass away. So it's a big deal now more than ever.
There was just a bill that was passed in Texas where a judge threw out 100,000 early votes.
Next thing to
that's
it's
real
sad for we in New York because
Yeah.
we in New York don't have the rights, but people who live in outer state where you could carry a firearm and thing, I will advise all you to go and get a concealed carrier's license, whatever is the case, and purchase a firearm. Because I'm telling you, all you will have to protect all yourself and all your family.
That is the truth.
I
You
am
just
telling
said
you.
no violence.
It's a no, but I'm not saying about protection. I ain't saying that protection is going to read.
Don't be the aggressor.
And exactly. And we start things saying in New York, we can't, we have the rights to bear arms. You know what I'm saying?
We do have the rights to bear arms, but you have to be a homeowner or a businessman.
Exactly. So when the Proud Boys and them who standing by ready to act the fool, you know what I'm saying? We have to be able to dance and use the understand what I'm saying. But for the people who live in outer state and who have the rights to carry, I should just you do that. Involve yourself and your family. Teach your younger ones, whoever the case, the proper way to use a firearm, go about the rules and regulations, everything. And I think.
I remember Shandy was giving us a story where she went to what was it, a gun range? Yeah, and she saw, saw some people teaching their
Caucasian
kids.
people teaching their kids at 8 years old, holding this big old rifle.
I just drive state to state. And let me tell you something, I pass by certain gun shops and I have to ask if it's a Jordan that drop. Though the line by these gun shops is ridiculous. I had to say, yo, all you know something I don't know. What it is, because it's not one gun store, I'm talking about every gun store. I even stopped and went in some and they empty dog. Like certain grocery stores, they said, what the grocery store look at the toilet paper and all them thing. When the pandemic hit, that's what guns store looking.
They said they're rationing bullets now. They have to ration bullets.
Exactly. So I started to ask myself, like, what all you know that I don't know why? Is every state you go in, these people line up to get the things. You understand what I'm saying? They're making sure they're protecting themselves. They're taking that step. And I'll advise everybody who live in that state where it is legal to carry a firearm. I will encourage you to do so and get your family and everybody well trained and protect yourself, protect your family.
Gaza.
That's what I say.
Gaza.
That's just the real. That's the life we're living in right now.
Did he say
That's
there's
where
long
America
lines
coming to.
where she's at, Onika saying, this is what I can get the heat and it's frightening. Whoever wins, people need to understand that we all have to coexist together after the election.
No,
so who
said that?
Onika said that.
Onika, we would understand that. We, the Caribbean people, will quicker understand that.
Yes.
You understand? But these American people, let me just be real about it. These American people out there would not understand that.
I would say conservative.
Well,
conservative.
Right. You understand?
Well, not even conservative. I would say like this, right? I think, at least in my lifetime, right, and I'm 35 years old, there's always been an understanding of you always vote for the lesser of two evils. And I think, listen, there's always been these racists, there's always been these violent people, but here's the thing. They never felt emboldened to publicly display these behaviors and these actions. So this is where we have a difference now. And I think orange peel open a can of worms, right?
Exactly.
That until we have another president is not going to be closed. And that's where, because you can tell a civilized, educated person like those of us that are in this room, and yes, we are going to defend ourselves, but we are not going to sit here and cause a problem. But for those people, if they don't get what they want, they're organizing and they're outwardly saying this, and they're emboldened by the president of the United States. This is not people. Black Lives Matter is being called out as a hate group. I remember when one Trinidadian person became part of ISIS and we got called a terrorist country. But these people are allowed, literally allowed and protected by the police, protected by the president. That same caravan or the same group of trucks that surrounded the bus for the Biden campaign. Trump tweeted out a picture of that or a video of it and said, "I love Texas."
Yes, I remember.
He said, stand back and stand down to the Proud Boys. So that is why we're in the situation we are in now. Because listen, even though people didn't like each other, people always had these faults or whatever, you never saw people did not feel brave to do these things.
Exactly, and that's the thing about it. Don't
Not since the civil rights movement. Before then, segregation, all that
well,
stuff.
Of course, but I mean, like, since then,
yeah,
in our lifetime, no.
This weekend I drive, and I tell you, the way some of these people driving, like they're driving the road looking for altercation.
Yeah, they're looking for it.
Yeah, they can tell. I watch it like I drive in truck dog. And I see a man that's driving this cut across me, shoot, and stop. Right, he got a red light, So when he watching me, right, clapping him like that. I say, yeah, boy.
Good job.
Round of applause. That alone, he's so upset. He started looking at him. I say, yeah. I say, all the thing you're not going to play, man, and jump out your car. I say, well, you good job. And that alone, he's so upset, but they're looking for things. You just have to understand what's going on and just be patient and just let them fellas go away.
Diffuse situation if you cannot give them
more. So you can upset me. The long guy says my money running. You know what I'm saying? So you could park up right and pull up your handbrakes. I will stay here all day because I'm on the clock. But they're looking for altercation. They're looking
but
for
I would say this though, since President Trump has been in office, he exposed a lot of them,
Of course he exposed them.
He doing it for the votes. Maybe that's the way he is. But the way I see it, I think he's really doing it for the votes.
I think so too.
I'm the least racist person in the room.
I'm not saying I don't think he's
racist.
He
said, look at the crowd, it's dark.
Oh my God, I can't see anybody.
I went to college in Utica, dog. I've been through all this.
Oh, you already know.
I'm a racist, dog. I was a star in football on a college team, right? In Utica. Every game I was playing. And the day for homecoming, with all these white people, family, all them white people coming out, is the day they decide not to play me.
Wow.
Because they're the homecoming
game. My little black parents not going to come and travel and just see me play. It's only white people there. So they tried to put me on about 2 minutes ago. But they didn't know I was a madman. So I walk on the center of the field and take off my clothes and shoot naked and my tights alone. And walk straight to my dorms. And my coach and I said, "Oh, you don't know me." I said, "I'm more mad than half all out there." I take off all my clothes. For all these white people, I strip naked and stay in my tights. Pick up my boots and walk straight back in my dorm room.
Gangster.
I'm telling you because I know the reason why I do it. I'm telling you, I know
somebody behind you get.
I nobody racist thing but me, please.
Sure.
I think the part that irritates me is watching people. I'm not saying which who to vote for, but the justification that you get is, it's the lesser of two evils. Did you know that Biden did nothing for this country within the 45 years that for whatever years he's been working? You get that lineup, or he's a racist. I watched a video for that. I just want to point out, if you're going to go that route, then also put into the consideration, we have a president who doesn't know anything about politics. He just knows about business.
Yes,
and he sucks as a businessman. If you check the background, he bankrupt most of his companies. You understand? So if we're gonna run that play, he knows nothing about business. Yes, he's a very candid person about being racist, about this and about that. That doesn't justify keeping him in power. I'm just pointing that I'm playing devil advocate here. I want people to be cognizant of what they're saying. Be open-minded about what you're doing. Do your research. I'm not saying vote for Biden. I'm not saying vote for Trump.
Exactly.
But what I'm saying is when you're at the voting station, make sure you know what you're doing. Me personally, I want you also to remember within the 4 years that we've been here, I've heard so many people gripe, I can't believe this man is in power. I can't believe he's allowed to say that. But yet those same people are like, I'm voting for him because at least I know it's less of two evils. Please remember, when somebody is a vice president, they have so much they can do, number one. Number two, we also want to point out that the first 2 years Trump has been in power, it was dismantling everything that administration had put into place. So let's also take that into consideration. So when the next person comes into power, all the executive orders that Trump had are null and void, number one. I just want people to understand executive orders only last the duration of that person's candidacy. When that person's out of power, it expires. So I just want you guys to also pay attention to that. He did an executive order for Obamacare. So who knows, maybe when Biden goes back in, he can flip the switch and that goes back into that. I'm not going to take away too much time from it, but I just want people to
you have a good point. So that is the day people just go out, do your thing, go out and vote.
I said, well, we have 2-3 days now.
You see,
Tuesday.
For Biden and Harris. Well, Didi, I am saying nothing, me saying nothing here. For Facebook and them to come looking for me. You understand? So I just say go out and do the right thing, or know it's the right thing. Or they ain't blind.
Yeah, know who stands up for your
You understand?
principles, who's covering you.
Or you've been watching what's going on, or you know what is the right thing. Go out and do the right thing. If all you feel vote for Trump is the right thing, I hold you. Me can't say nothing.
Vote
if Biden is the right thing, I can't say nothing again. But just go out and do the right thing. Go out and vote. Go out and vote. That's some people saying they ain't voting or kind of thing. Don't go out and vote, though.
No waste space.
Go out and vote. If you don't want to go out, then give up your... Then go and tell them fellas, I don't want my papers no more. I want to transfer it on somebody else's name. Whoever want to come and get, put it on them name.
Yeah.
Because you're wasting time. It's just a number. And remember, you're not voting for better for your children. So stop being selfish and don't go me go and vote. You're not voting for yourself. You're voting better for your children.
I also want to go back to what you were saying before. I commend people who actually took the time out to vote because as they say, this is a historical moment because they've never seen so many people go out and
for
vote.
early voting. Yeah,
for early voting.
It was raining all week in New York.
And people, not only have this day off, you had to take the whole day.
So now I'm trying to figure out because I'm gonna go Tuesday. I'm like, voting polls open at what 6 o'clock. I'm like, should I be there at 4 o'clock in the morning? Sitting down with hot chocolate on the line.
Well, let me know it might start. It might be hot chocolate, but it will be something hot.
If you have time today, there is still time for early voting until 4. Just keep in mind that your early voting location is not necessarily the same location as your voting location for the date of the election. So I'm actually going to try to vote before 4.
So just a quick suggestion before we end off, Truth with AKIL. They're saying that Kareem, you need to get the cordless handheld over there as our producer from now on.
Facts.
Okay.
Yo, Kareem Steak coming dropping a gem every
So just to wrap up the Truth with AKIL, closing statements.
Yeah, that's what I say. Don't make man come and tell you again. You know my mouth not easy. I can be very disrespectful already. But you go out and vote, and if you're not voting, and if people are not voting, please keep your voices low.
Very low.
And people who... And let me tell you something. You can vote. Stop arguing.
No, I can keep my voice high because I cannot vote, period.
No,
but I can tell people to shut up. I was going out there and vote. I would have voted for Trump, but I would have still voted.
Listen, a whole week I had to mute him because I just couldn't take it. I was like, yo, you're not even voting. You have all this small like.
You know, Rondell, David Advocate.
Yeah. All right, so that's it for the Truth with AKIL. You guys get familiar with this spot every single Sunday. We're gonna do that from about 11:15. All right.
You want answers? Grab your coffee and listen up.
Listen.
I want the truth. The truth.
You can't handle the truth.
With AKIL Mitchell is on.
Hey. This is your girl Nyla Blackman, and you're tuned into Trouble in the Morning.
So, what I'm gonna do here now, we can do a break and we come back, but I'm a little bit pressed for time, so we're gonna cut the song short because I really want to hear this tune here. We come back with Devil's Advocate.
I just want to
Jerusalema ikhaya lami ilondoloze uhambe nami zungangishilana Jerusalema ikhaya lami ilondoloze uhambe nami zungangishilana
Did it. Honestly, everyone is entitled to their own opinion on who they would like to vote for. That's pretty much it, you know. The things that I would like for us, he has offered it, you know. Maybe he may not go through with it for the upcoming years, but he has offered it. All right. Hey, you guys, now it's time for Devil's Advocate. Let me play this.
This is your girl Nyla Blackman, and you're tuned into Trouble in the Morning.
All right, so it's a very simple topic that I wanted to speak about. Now, for years of coming into this country, I've made the point where Caribbean household makes a lot more money on average than an American household, than a black American household. And when I say a black American household, I'm talking about people from down south. If you consider yourself black, you got that notion from being here in America, right? Because anywhere else in the world, we consider ourselves geographically rather than racially. Now, only in America, you consider yourself racially, which you call yourself black or you call yourself white. You know, coming to this country is the only time that I've ever heard somebody call themselves black. And I was kind of puzzled for a little bit, and I'm like, you know what? I just ran with it. Shandy and I had a little quick discussion in the chat room one time when I was telling her about, you know, being black. You know, there's no such thing as calling yourself black. It just isn't a thing, you know. But that's the way we were taught here in America. That's the way Americans were taught. You know, I came from the Cambridge education, which is the English side of education. Most of us are from the Caribbean. We did CXC. We did all this kind of so we learned on the Cambridge side. We never learned the American way. Now, recently in the news, there was the American he's from Trump's campaign.
No.
Goes by the name of Jared Kushner.
Yes, that's Ivanka Trump's husband. That's his son-in-law.
Oh, okay. So he was quoted as saying something like, black people are lazy. So let's go to CBS 5 for the report.
Tonight, a controversy from the White House. Some people are upset over a couple of comments Jared Kushner made on White House grounds.
So some people took his words to mean that many black people complain and they don't try to be successful. Brianna Whitney has reaction from the local black community tonight. Brianna, what do they have to say?
Yeah, Heather, they say these comments are disheartening and disappointing. Take a listen to what Jared Kushner said today on air.
And again, one thing we've seen in a lot of the black community, which is mostly Democrat, is that President Trump's policies are the policies that can help people break out of the problems that they're complaining about, but he can't want them to be successful more than they want to be successful.
Now, with that being said, basically he's saying that black folks in this country are lazy. Now, did he just said she's gonna get it ready to come back next week to give me a Caribbean cutlass because I said if I was to vote, I would vote for Donald Trump. Now, let me play devil's advocate for a second and say to you guys that I share the same sentiments with Jared Kushner because of simple facts. Go on, grab your damn cordless mic one time. Go on, grab your cordless mic one time. Let me just say that I'm playing devil's advocate here. Let me say that I'm sharing the same sentiments with Jared Kushner. From the time I've been to this country, I have met a lot of so quote-unquote black friends who says to me, listen, the white man is holding us back. They're oppressing us. They're not doing, the system is not designed for us. The system is designed for white people. It's not designed for us. So I'm sitting here like, bro, I'm a Trinidadian. I came here to your trading states and I'm doing pretty well. You've been here all your life and I'm doing better than you. So what it is that makes me different, is it my drive from coming from a Caribbean place of never having stuff that I want to go get the stuff now? That I have a drive to go forward and make this thing happen? Or is it just the fact that I'm in a different place, in a different space of mind, and that I would go forward and get some stuff for myself? Or is it simply because you are lazy as a black person in this country? You want everything handed to you. After slavery ended, everybody wants 40 acres and a mule. But the people who are advocating for 40 acres and a mule never pick cotton a day in their goddamn life. So why does this country owe you 40 acres and a mule? Oh no, this country owes my ancestors 40 acres and a mule. Bro, think about it. How many people from slavery days are actually alive today? There's quite a number, a very large number of them, but there's not enough people in this world who's been alive since slavery days to say, listen, we can advocate for getting 40 acres and a mule. Because think about it, the black person who lives here right now, who probably lives in Linden Projects or whatever, you're not owed anything from this government. You're not owed anything for yourself. So this is me playing devil's advocate and saying, listen, I share the same sentiments as Jared Kushner. So I want to know how my panel feels about it.
Oh my good. Y'all can hear me?
Yes.
Let me see if I can get y'all on camera and make sure everybody's faces is in this, because this I used to be under that same impression like Sugars coming from.
Listen, this segment is called Devil's Advocate.
Coming from a Caribbean country and trying to say like, why is these people not getting ahead? I mean, I've only been here 2 or 3 years and they're not doing anything, you know? I came, I never went on welfare, I never had any public assistance. The only public assistance I used to have here was the free health care, right? And I'm like, what is it, you know? So I was under that impression. All black Americans are lazy. That was my impression. But then I started figuring out how the system worked when I was trying to move forward. When certain things was happening to me, I noticed the system wasn't discriminating that I came from the Caribbean. All the system saw that was I was black, right? So the system here is made to inherently keep you back once you're black. And the fact that we're saying that all black Americans are lazy, that's not true. You might see a few black Americans around you who are not successful because you happen to be probably in the inner city or in the projects. But I can tell you there are a lot of young black Americans that are successful, that are working hard, and whatever anecdotal evidence is out there to say contrary, that's not true. Because I have been alongside hardworking black Americans. Now, the problem here is that when you as a hardworking black American try to move from one class to the other, imagine you're born in a situation where you're poor and you're trying to move from that lower class to the middle class, that's where the problems happen. I've always used that example of one time when I was in retail, we tried promoting this young girl to become a manager, and she refused to take the promotion because they were on public assistance, and the $2,000 or $3,000 extra she would have made per year on her paycheck, they would have lost over $15,000 for the year in assistance.
Wow.
I don't call that lazy. I call that smart.
Yeah, because that covers your child care. It's not just money you're receiving.
So she didn't change her ability to work hard. She was still a hardworking. She just understood that me taking $3,000 extra on my paycheck, even though I deserve that, would mess up the life for her family so bad that it wouldn't be able to cover all the losses that would come with that you know, that raise and that promotion. So we tend to look at black Americans as lazy, but when a businessman, for example, like Trump, pulls off something where he can write off $1 million in losses, we don't say he's a stupid businessman.
Say he's smart
for sustaining so much losses. Because if I'm telling you every month I can't afford to pay my bills, you look at me like, yo, bro, why you spending so much? A businessman comes in and he say, yo, for the last 10 years I had $500 million in losses and I want to write it off. You call him intelligent and he's using what's there for him. So why can't we be seen as the same way? Like, listen, I can't get ahead. I'm going to use what's legally available to me, which is public assistance, which is whatever the case is, right? So why am I be looking at me as somebody who's lazy when I'm using the thing? But when Trump uses it, we say, but oh, that's what any smart businessman is supposed to do. Why are we victimizing ourselves when we take advantage of all the things that are there for us? And when somebody's rich who has a whole team just to figure out loopholes to crack the system, we have a problem. We don't have a problem with that. But when I'm, as a poor person, say, you know what? I'm not going to pay this. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to stay here for a while until I save up to buy a house, because I know if I make an extra $2,000, the system is going to come down so hard on me. That's why the middle class is just disappearing.
Yeah.
It's disappearing because people realize if the minute time, and it's so crazy sometimes. It's like, okay, you make between $0 and $45,000, you get XYZ, And as soon as you cross 1 penny over 45,000, boom, no safety net. Everything disappears. You know? And it's like, why victimize ourselves? Why come out against ourselves? Why don't we figure out better ways to vote people in that say, well, you know what? That safety net is coming out too fast. So from 0 to 45,000, you get XYZ. From 45,000 to 50,000, you get XYZ. For, you know, instead of saying, all right, once you cross that threshold, everything disappears and you got to fend for yourself. You know what's the price of an apartment in New York City?
Oh my God.
I
2,200 for a 1-bedroom at current value, current rate.
Let me tell you another personal situation again. When I bought this house. Well, me and my brother, sister, bought this house. Wife bought this house. We came here. We had an apartment up on Union, right? That's that same apartment I used to have, the old studio. We said we're not going to lose that apartment because that apartment is a great apartment, great location. We don't know who family members is going to migrate probably in the next few years. We want to keep that situation legit for them. Ended up putting somebody in the apartment. Person was good. They were paying their rent. I was, you know, they sent the rent to us. We paid everything. Then we got an eviction notice. It's like, an eviction notice? What the hell is happening? So my wife very quickly called up. She works at the city, and they have a department that defends their employees in situations like this. And we thought we were good. The building had a tax abatement deal with the city for 20 years or whatever the case is. So it was from 1988 to 2008. We moved into the building in 2010. But what happened, the owners kept that deal in place. So we got that below market rent rate, whatever that case was. They sold the building to a new set of owners, and the new owners came in and said, that does not apply to us. Everybody's paying market rate. We didn't know that. So we walked into court feeling mad confident. We have lawyers, we have, you know, we have proper representation. We're going to win this case because we've been paying our rent on time. And the judge was like, nah, you guys have to pay the rent, otherwise you're out.
So let me be another former devil's advocate here now. Going back to the young lady who refused to take the promotion because she may lose $1,500 in public assistance for her and her family. 15,000, you say, over the year, right? Now, this extra 3,000, would it be monthly or would it be?
No, for the year.
Her raise would have been an extra
3,000 for the year. Now I understand. I understand. You understand?
Can I offer you a different perspective as well? I used to also have the same opinion as you. And I'll tell you, it took the last couple of years to really be affected in a psychological and a traumatizing way for me to maybe understand some of the psychological ramifications of growing up as a Black American in this country. And you can correct me if I'm wrong, because I didn't grow up in the Caribbean, but I don't feel like people in the Caribbean, Black people in the Caribbean over here thinking they just regular Caribbean people, right? Because we're not going like, oh my God, I'm Black, I'm this. People are not getting killed by the police and dying at the rate that they are here because of the color of their skin. People are not being represented as their person in the Caribbean, right? You watch TV, you saw people that look like you, you saw people that acted like you, whatever the case may be. You were able to succeed in life and whatever the case may be. This country was founded literally on the lynched backs of Black Americans. The entire history, because there is no history for Black Americans. They have no
That's why they call themselves Blacks, because they don't know what else to call themselves.
No cultural history, nothing, okay? Everything they know is based on trauma, is based on them being oppressed, of them being considered less than, of them being, literally, there's government conspiracies. This is proven facts, government conspiracies to hold people back, to keep people down, and all of these things. So imagine growing up as a Black child, a Black American child, and from the moment you are cognizant of your surroundings, everywhere around you telling you that you ain't shit and that you're not good enough and that you can never be nothing and that no matter how hard you work, we will find a way to literally shoot you down. You know, and you know, when you talk about things like look at the Jewish community, for example, this is another set of oppressed people. Well, we're gonna parade them around.
But they're doing
but
damn
here
well.
we're gonna parade them around. They also got reparations that they continue to receive all up until from the Obama administration. They continue to receive reparations in this country for an oppression that did not happen in this country, and nobody in this country did to them.
So
okay,
what can
but
we
black
do
people
different?
still cannot get reparations.
Why is that? Oh,
That's a
you even
longer
answer that
topic.
question, I want to say good morning goes out to Anna. She's a first-time listener. She's from New Zealand. Good morning, Anna. Bertel said most black Americans want to live on the system.
I don't believe that because
the system ain't even enough to sustain you. So I don't know who want to.
I don't believe they want to live on the system, but the minute time they try to get out the system, everything is set up so difficult. The gap between getting from the system to self-sustenance is so ridiculous. I've had people like telling me, oh, I need to cut my hours down because I will lose this and I wouldn't be able to have somebody to take care of my child.
Kids,
What do you want them to do?
Motivate the rest of your family members to work as hard as you so that you
Some
get
people
off
don't
the
have
system.
family members.
It doesn't work like that, Sugars. It doesn't. It doesn't work like that. It really does not work like that. Imagine you in an apartment, right? And he's like, I'm gonna go there and put it this way. The system is not even paying like the typical person enough money to run their life. Even to get up to $15 an hour as a minimum wage. We trying to kill that. Right? But we're okay with paying rent that's $3,000 and $4,000. $4,000 a month is what? $48,000 for the year? Let's say just $3,000, $36,000 a year. What's $15,000 an hour? $15 an hour. A typical 40-hour week. How much is that for the year? How much is that
After
for the year?
taxes, you're going home with at least probably $420 in your pocket for something like that.
So you talking rent is taking up probably literally
Your whole check.
your whole yearly salary after taxes, right? How is that working? How is that working? Let's even say you in a 2-income situation. You and your significant other, or you and a family member in a 2-income situation, and you're working for $12 an hour, and you're paying market rates right now.
How about we
Explain
talking
that.
about the black American households where they have continued to keep the black man oppressed from receiving better education, the education to prison pipeline, better jobs, and then you mess up the dynamic of the black family because you have
Playing
women
devil's advocate, how could
disproportionately
someone
educated.
stop you from learning and getting education?
Okay,
How?
let me give you an example.
How is that possible?
When I live in the hood, you're forcing me to go to my zone school. So I already am poor. I already live in the hood. Now you're forcing me to go to the poor school where there's less resources. Okay, I'm poor. Maybe I stop. There's literally studies where people stop going to class because they don't have clean food, whatever.
It is the fault of the government. It is the fault of the government.
Because the government.
So your parents get no blame for that.
No. I want you to check this book, Savage Inequalities, and it's based on the education system on how oppressed the black people
There's so
are.
many inequalities and systemic oppression.
The resources that you get in Long Island, when Long Island was Long Island, where it was just Caucasian people, you won't get here in the inner city.
Why is that?
And
I can tell you why that is.
That is based on taxes.
I can tell you exactly why that is.
Because I can tell you what it is.
Because based on your schooling zone, it goes back to real estate.
Right.
You pay taxes for your school zone.
Right.
So
You wanna talk about
what
redlining?
taxes are we paying for the homes over here, for the buildings?
Right.
When
So
you
stop.
live 15,
Stop.
20 people
So
deep in an apartment.
So when Trump was...
You know what redlining is?
Yes.
You know at one point black people couldn't own...
Yes.
Right. So if you didn't allow me to buy a property...
When I could
afford it in Long Island, right? You allow white people or Caucasian people to amass property. Property value increase. Taxes increase. Obviously now you have a concentration of wealth in one area. And guess what's happening to me? You putting me on top 17 or 20 other people, right? So 50 years, 60 years later, what's happening?
At this very rate, 1 in 10 Black Americans in a household can purchase a home.
But wait, how about when we
move out?
How about when we did purchase our own homes and we did have our own communities and they burnt them to the ground?
That was so long ago. That was Tulsa, Oklahoma. What is it, Green or whatever? Tulsa. That's so long ago.
That's so long.
That wasn't so long. There's people that's still alive from that time. That's within our lifetime.
Why can't we come back? Look at the Japanese. The Japanese.
Are you really devil's advocate?
Yeah. I'm just being a devil's advocate at this point in time. I want to get to the bottom to the root of this problem here. It's 5 minutes past the hour, 12 o'clock. Probably get like 5 more minutes on this topic.
Yeah, because I think this topic is worth the deep dive.
Yeah.
We can't continue to victimize victims. So
exactly.
But should victims see themselves as victims?
Let me ask a
so
question.
Long?
So, and I mean, this is just a point. So hopefully, this doesn't get taken out of context.
Yeah.
Right? When the Jewish people was being oppressed, why didn't they fight back? Why did they just allow people to kill them?
Really?
Because they had a strategy in place, a plan, maybe.
Right? So, and this is no shade. This is nothing for me to take away of the atrocities of what happened. This is not what I'm just trying to make a cross point.
Yeah.
Right? We can't victimize victims. You can't come and raise a point and say, well, why don't they do this? They're trying, sugars. They are.
Not even that.
I've literally seen Black Americans try to get out the system, and every door, every inch they turn, it's something within the system that's telling them, nope, you can't do this. Nope, you can't. You're making $1 too much. The home that you're living in has somebody who went to jail. How come it was that in the 1980s, early 90s, it was a no tolerance policy for drugs? I know that white people is dying from
opioid addiction. Free. Oh my God, free. You can get a Narcan from anywhere.
No compassion for Black people
exactly
dying of crack
that they brought into the community.
Right.
That they brought.
And it's a known fact they brought it into the community.
White people, opioids is a white people problem. No, we have to care. We have to be caring. We have to, take the compassionate road. We have to do treatment, and we have to do therapy. And we didn't have that same courtesy 20 or 30 years ago.
Yep.
So that's why Black people can't move forward in this country. Because every time they victimize the victims, break up the families. You think they're not kids that grew up without dads in their household for having weed, a cocaine or something. 3 strikes and you're out.
For years.
20 years later, now they're not here. And you have their kids who is like suffering from not having the father around, or not having a second income in the household, or mom had to go in a homeless shelter because dad is no longer around to provide. These things affect you 20 and 10 years. I still have issues from my father not being around at certain parts in my life. Right? I still have issues, but we can't say, it's their fault for being lazy. When the people that are trying are there people that are obviously like, listen, I'm not doing work, I'm just.
But that's everywhere. Every person, every people.
Everywhere, exactly.
And we never talk about, when you talk about milking the system, let me tell you something. Years ago, I was like 16, 17 years old. For like 3 weeks, I worked at the supermarket, right? Like I couldn't do that job, but whatever. I worked at a supermarket and I worked at ShopRite on Avenue I. And it's a predominantly European neighborhood. And the amount of people that's there on food stamps, the amount of people that's abusing the system. You never hear about immigration from these European countries because they're all for that. You never hear about the fact somebody who's completely against immigration, right? But Trump's mother and father-in-law were granted citizenship through chain immigration. The same thing that he is trying to remove from Black countries. All of these things, it only applies when it comes to Black people. And when I thought about, like when I watched George Floyd's death, for example, I finally got it. Because I sat and bawled in my house. First of all, I watched this. It's 5:30 in the morning. I woke up early. And the first thing I'm seeing at 5:30 in the morning is another Black man being killed on the television. Let me tell you something. The day that they kill a white person, you're not going to watch it on TV. Let's start with that, okay? But the level of trauma I felt as a mother of black children, right? As somebody who has 2 black baby fathers, who has black family members, I may not outwardly, right? Like, I know, I'm in a cop situation, I'm gonna play super lily white and hope for the best. Real talk. I know my privilege as a light-skinned person in this country. And that's because something is wrong. Because I wouldn't know that unless I wouldn't continue to see situations where I know that I am privileged solely because of the color of my skin, you know? And when I think about that, and when I watched that and I sat there and bawled, I thought to myself, how depressed have I felt this week? How scared have I felt this week? How traumatized have I felt just this week alone? Okay? And I don't know what it feels like to go outside as a very black looking person and receive I've received backlash for being light skinned, for being pale. I've dealt my own little bias and whatever. But I tried to imagine, my God, what would that feel like as a black woman? Because I've experienced situations where I thought that somebody was projecting racism where there wasn't there. But going through that situation of watching George Floyd, I thought to myself, well, if you were walking around and that happened to you 10 times, the 11th time when it didn't happen, why wouldn't you think that it was happening? You know, so when you're dealing with that every single day and the level of trauma, anxiety, depression, all kind of things that brings you, how are you supposed to be successful? How much more are they going to keep piling on these people and then go, do good, play ball, run fast, be president? Like, how much more are these people supposed to take and continue to be successful and thrive? Because think about when you're having a bad day, are you able to do your best at work? Are you able to do your best at school? Are you able to thrive and survive and succeed in those ways? No.
Well, me personally, I will have a bad half an hour, a bad 15 minutes. I have never had a bad day. Attitude is everything. The way you project your attitude. I have had bad minutes. And I just sat down, composed myself, thought of something else, and then moved. But your upbringing is different.
Do you?
But this is why I'm saying.
Do you not see that maybe if you had grown up in an environment where your whole upbringing is based on some level of oppression throughout your entire life, you may have a different mindset and a different emotional response to these things that are happening to you. So same like me, I could walk in a space, I know I'm gonna make it, I know I'm gonna survive. There's 100 million people that look like me that's doing good. And so when you don't see that and you don't feel that, you know, can you really push yourself to that level? Yes, there's people that's always gonna succeed. There's always those success stories and those great stories, but is that gonna happen like as a common practice?
Good. Well, guys, we are definitely out of time, and we'd like to thank you guys for tuning in to Trouble in the Morning for yet another great episode. Next week, Godspeed Live, we're going to try to, Didi, or just on behalf of Didi, we're going to try to reach out to X-Rated to see if he can come and host the Burst or Not for us. If not, we're definitely doing Burst or Not because Julian's promo hit just over 1 million. And we're going to start incorporating Julian's promo. Shandy, send my music pack.
I will.
And then we also have a list, troubleinthe.morning@gmail.com. We also have a list of songs that we're going to put into the Burst and Not. So I would like to thank the panel. I would like to thank Nikki, the Watch Trouble ladies, for Shandy for another great topic. Thank you. We look forward to it next week. Also, I'd like to thank Akil for his contribution today with the Truth with Akil today. All right. Also like to thank our producer for always holding us down and putting in great input, which is Kareem. This is Trouble in the Morning. If you've been watching us for the first time today, thank you very much for watching. Please do share our live, and we hope to see you again next week. Okay. Have yourself a great rest of your day. This is Aishtasha with Talk the Truth.
Happy
Sunday. Some boy might be sick in a them head. Sick in a them head. Some boy might be sick in a them head. Sick in a them head. Some boy might be sick in a them head. Them not hold no med. You see say man a rasta. No man a rasta, me no imposter. You can't run from the other. Come on a heal up the father, the Lion of Judah. Some man a move like idiot. Tell them the liquor school girls them stop read that. The rating we no read that. So if you're wrong me family, you get gunshot. Some boy a move too shady. Tell them a hype up themselves and a go on like lady. Them a da kill liquor baby. So me a wonder if them boy must be crazy. It's either the bloodthirsty or them demon possession. can't see. Somebody tell me what one in my country. It's only God alone can help me. Them don't want me talk the truth. Them don't want me talk the truth. They want keep the Rasta mute. Them don't want me talk the truth. Yo man a generally I mean I know damn recruit. You can't play me like no blasting flute. You tell them real recognize real that's the truth. And them boy them in a salute. Carry it out. And next thing me have to mention. Tell them the devil is roaming and still them never listen. We gotta protect the nation. And set a good example for the young generation. People afraid to walk the road again. Every day a murdering and kidnapping. Shut up us outside your house rapid. The world looking away. Anyhow, them boy they do evil. Them no really give a damn about people. Them a try buying a some scheme as big gun and a unmarked vehicle. Good music. The jail house ram again. Here goes another funeral again. When it is
good time. Delivering the best. Good music, good times. With another long